Chapter 11:18. Haha, your bullshit alliance leader Qin is already dead. Ling Baiyu said with a smirk. Ling Baiyu had a belly full of anger in his heart, but now he could finally vent it out. Stupid old man, do you know how to speak? How dare you curse alliance leader Qin? Shut up, you damn thing. If anything happens to alliance leader Qin today, how do you expect us to? I'll destroy your star sect. Star sect broke the rules of the martial arts world and actually attacked alliance leader Qin. Everyone, spread this news and let the entire Chinese martial arts world deal with Star Sect. The crowd was instantly in an uproar. They were all unwilling to admit that Qin Feng was dead, but Qin Feng still hadn't appeared. Everyone couldn't help but wonder if alliance leader Qin was really dead. Xiaoli was already out of her wits. After she came back to her senses, she was about to go crazy. Suddenly, a gust of chilly wind blew. Xiaoli was about to rush up and fight Ling Baiyu. Miss Xiaoli, don't be impulsive. You're no match for that old man. Moreover, I believe that brother Qin Feng will be fine. Let's wait a little longer. When Yiming immediately stopped Xiaoli. He believed that Qin Feng wasn't dead, because Qin Feng had shown amazing and magical abilities several times before. When Yiming believed that Qin Feng would be fine this time, everyone in the outer martial arts world had a worried expression. The elders and disciples of Star Sect were overjoyed. As long as Qin Feng was dead, the rest of the outer hidden sects were trash in their eyes. They could chase them away at any time. You bunch of outer hidden sects trash, get lost right now. How dare you behave atrociously in Star Sect? Don't you know what kind of place this is? Do you think you're worthy of being here? Without Qin Feng, Ling Baiyu was clamoring. Apart from Ling Chongkong, who had stepped into the true energy realm, Ling Baiyu was the only one left. The outer hidden sects were so angry that they gritted their teeth, but they didn't dare to act rashly. Even when Yiming was no match for Ling Baiyu, they weren't afraid of death. They just wanted to wait a little longer because it was very likely that Qin Feng was still alive. Heroes of the outer hidden sects, I think everyone has misunderstood me. We, the Starlight sect, did not go after Alliance Master Qin on purpose. I merely wanted to have a friendly match with Alliance Master Qin. Who would have thought that he would not be able to withstand my attacks? He died before I could even attack. Since it has come to this, we, the Star Sect, will organize a martial arts circle convention in the near future. At that time, we will elect a new leader of the martial arts circle. After recuperating for a while, Ling Chongkong had already suppressed the rampaging vital energy in his body. His voice was extremely penetrating and entered everyone's ears. However, everyone was angered to death by Ling Chongkong's words. This old man was sinister and cunning. He clearly wanted to kill Qin Feng, so that he could re-elect the alliance leader of the martial arts circle. However, he twisted the truth and made up a different story for himself. Ling Chongkong, as a sect leader, you actually dared to lay your hands on a junior. Why must you find so many excuses to hide the truth? There are so many people here who can clearly see what kind of person you are. What's the point of quibbling? When Yiming shouted angrily, Ling Chongkong's expression did not change. Instead, he put on an amiable smile like a kind old grandfather. Hee, it's none of your business if you don't believe me. The martial arts circle of China has long been dominated by the inner hidden sects. You must be the genius disciple of the Snow Mountain sect, Wen Yiming, right? Why are you still standing among that motley crew and speaking up for them? Ling Chongkong's words did not hide his disdain towards the outer hidden sects at all. The outer hidden sects' disciples were burning with anger. Old fart, who are you calling a motley crew? Watch your words. You don't have to quibble. We, the outer hidden sects, have been here for 3 days and 3 nights. Your star sect has refused to let us in. Now that alliance leader Qin is here, you don't even want to see him. You even took advantage of your power and tried to kill alliance leader Qin. You are simply a bunch of scum. The people of the outer hidden sects were in an uproar again. They were all criticizing and reprimanding Ling Chongkong. As the sect leader of the Star Sect, Ling Chongkong's status was extremely high. How could he tolerate a group of ants from the outer hidden sects pointing fingers at him? He could not be bothered to pretend anymore. Suddenly his body emitted billowing vital energy. All of you shut up. You are indeed a motley crew. I'll give you 3 seconds to disappear from my sight. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing you. The surroundings suddenly quietened down. Ling Chongkong was a stage 4 true Qi expert. With just a roar, his imposing manner made it hard for the crowd to breathe. The difference in strength between the two parties was too great. Even if the people of the outer hidden sects were not afraid of death, they did not have the strength to fight against the Star Sect. Seeing that 3 seconds were almost up, a strange aura floated in the air. Swoosh! At this moment, the cry of a sword rang out. With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng's figure appeared on one of the rooftops of the Star Sect. He was only 1 meter away from where Ling Chongkong stood. The cosmic flying sword was too fast. Furthermore, Qin Feng withdrew it in time. No one saw how Qin Feng appeared. Even Ling Chongkong only saw a flash of pink light before Qin Feng appeared in front of him. Compared to Ling Chongkong, whose clothes were tattered and his hair was unkempt, Qin Feng looked as usual. His purple lightning robe was cold and sharp in the wind. His body was surrounded by purple lightning. Qin Feng's long hair fluttered in the wind, and his handsome face revealed a dignified expression. It was as if he was a mighty and tall god of war that had descended to the mortal world. Everyone's mouths were wide open. They were so shocked that they could not speak. The Star Sect's elders and disciples were so shocked that their eyeballs fell to the ground. Especially Ling Baiyu. He was extremely arrogant before, but when he saw that Qin Feng was still alive, he immediately lost his confidence. Wow! Alliance leader Qin is not dead, he's still alive. I've already said that Alliance leader Qin is blessed. How could he die? Alliance leader Qin is mighty. Old dog from the Star Sect, hurry up and let everyone in. We need to immediately hold the Martial Arts Alliance leader's ascension ceremony. Qin Feng's sudden appearance gave hope to the people from the outer hidden sect. Xiaoli had long since jumped to Qin Feng's side with tears streaming down her face. She hugged Qin Feng's arm and cried. Qin Feng hugged Xiaoli in his arms and looked at Ling Chongkong coldly. He said, Ling, I'll also give you 3 seconds to let everyone in. Then, I'll hold my ascension ceremony in the Star Sect. Qin Feng's body was surging with true qi, and his body was emitting a milky white radiance. Ling Chongkong had long been stunned. Even now he was still in a daze. He thought that Qin Feng was dead. He did not expect that this brat would be able to block his 38 stellar swords. This was simply unbelievable. Ling Chongkong realized that the true qi on Qin Feng's body was a little strange. It was different from the true qi that he had when they were fighting. Moreover, the true qi around Qin Feng's body was clearly much weaker. However, when Ling Chongkong saw that Qin Feng was unharmed, he did not dare to make a move. Qin Feng, on the other hand, was a little nervous. However, no one could tell from his expression. The time limit of Qiao Feng's character card had already expired. Qin Feng was now only at the peak of stage 9 inner qi. As for the true qi that was bursting out of his body, it was merely the effect of Qin Feng activating the halo of justice emblem. Old fart, 3 seconds have passed. It seems that you still want to continue fighting with me. Qin Feng was no match for Ling Chongkong a long time ago. However, he still pretended to be strong. Seeing that Qin Feng was about to make a move, Ling Chongkong's heart suddenly felt weak. He had suffered internal injuries in the previous battle, and did not want to continue fighting. Everyone retreat. Let's welcome Alliance leader Qin, and our friends from the outer hidden sects. Ling Chongkong suddenly spoke with a kind and hearty smile on his face. Everyone was stunned by Ling Chongkong's actions and expression. This old fart was really shameless. Ling Baiyu felt extremely sullen, but he had no choice but to lead the crowd away. The people from the outer hidden sects rushed in. They felt as excited as the Japanese entering a village. Haha, Alliance leader Qin is still the best. What's the sect leader of the Star Sect? He can only bow and scrape in front of Alliance leader Qin. After Alliance leader Qin holds the Ascension ceremony, and officially becomes the Alliance leader of the martial arts world, the outer hidden sects will rise. The crowd discussed among themselves, and completely ignored the feelings of the people from the Star Sect. When Ling Chongkong and the great elders heard these words, they were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. However, Ling Chongkong did not lose his temper. After Qin Feng's display of strength, Ling Chongkong could only swallow his anger. As for the people from the Star sect, they did not dare to offend Qin Feng. He was someone who could defeat the sect leader of Chongkong. How could they afford to offend him? I say, what kind of trashy little sect is the Star sect? Aren't you going to entertain everyone? Hurry up and set up a banquet in the courtyard, and invite everyone to take a seat. Qin Feng knew that the people from the outer hidden sects had been waiting here for 3 days and 3 nights. All of them were so hungry that they were about to faint. As soon as they entered the Star sect, Qin Feng acted as if he was the sect leader. He immediately reprimanded Ling Baiyu and the great elders. The few of them were so angry that they blew their beards and glared at Qin Feng. However, they did not talk back to Qin Feng. Everyone looked at Ling Chongkong and waited for the sect leader's instructions. Ling Chongkong was so angry that he almost died. Since things had developed to this stage, you should just follow Qin Feng's orders. What's the point of looking at me? In the end, you still have to listen to Qin Feng. Why are you still standing there? You're all a bunch of good-for-nothings. The Star sect is one of the 5 hidden sects. We've always been hospitable and friendly. Hurry up and bring out all the good food and drinks. Let's celebrate together. Ling Chongkong's words shocked the people from the Star sect. After they regained their senses, the few great elders did not dare to disobey the sect leader of Chongkong's orders. They immediately arranged for people to bring out the food and drinks. As the disciples of the Star sect busied themselves, more than 10 tables were quickly set up in the courtyard. The people from the outer hidden sects immediately sat down and ate the food and drinks. It was as lively as the new year. Who allowed you to sit down? Are you guests? Why are you so insensible? Go and entertain the other guests. Ling Baiyu and the few great elders also sat down. They had not eaten anything yet. In the end, Qin Feng walked over and scolded them angrily. These people were so angry that they almost died. However, they could not show their anger to Qin Feng. Chapter 11:19. Alliance Master Qin, this humble monk offers you a toast. Previously, I had some conflicts with you on Demonic Beast Mountain. I hope Alliance Master Qin can forgive me. Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen sat at the same table as Qin Fen. He chuckled as he raised his wine cup to toast Qin Fen. Qin Fen no longer cared about the previous 2 martial world disturbances. Now that he was the strongest person in China's secular world, his mindset was much broader. Qin Fen raised his wine cup and was about to drink when he suddenly looked at Yuan Zhen in surprise, giving Yuan Zhen a fright. He thought that Qin Fen was unwilling to forgive the Shaolin Temple. Alliance Master Qin, what's wrong? Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen asked, trembling. Aren't you a Shaolin Temple disciple? How can you drink? Qin Fen raised his eyebrows. The other 10-odd people sitting around the table also came to their senses. They all looked at Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen strangely. Yuan Zhen relaxed as he said with a smile. Haha, Alliance Master Qin. Actually, as the older generation of Shaolin Temple, we don't have that many rules. Buddha once said that one's face reflects one's heart. What one thinks in one's heart is a precept. However, there is no wine in my heart, so this cup is not wine. I'll drink first as a sign of respect. Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen spoke eloquently. In the end, after drinking, he smacked his lips and sighed. Tsk. Great wine. Everyone was rendered speechless by Yuan Zhen's actions. Qin Fen also laughed heartily and downed his white wine. With Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen taking the lead, the various outer hidden sects toasted Qin Fen. Even a May Peak's priestess Heartless broke her precept and toasted Qin Fen. Originally, everyone present had a grudge with Qin Fen. In the previous 2 martial world disturbances, they had fought with Qin Fen for treasures. However, these outer hidden sects people were kind-hearted. They were much better than the sinister and vicious old dogs of the astral sect. Master, a toast to you as well. Shaoli raised his wine cup with a bashful expression. Qin Fen rubbed Shaoli's head and said with a smile, next time, don't act recklessly in times of danger. If you can't defeat the enemy, run. Don't fight with your life on the line. Otherwise, who will take care of me in the future? Of course, Qin Fen knew about Shaoli's previous actions. When he saw Shaoli risking his life to fight Ling Chongkong and Ling Baiyu, Qin Fen was very touched. Shaoli nodded her head shyly, and downed the white wine in one gulp. Jade Lady Mountain's Hai Qing also hurriedly ran over. She held her wine cup and appeared even more reserved than Shaoli. Big brother Qin, you're really amazing. Little sister Hai Qing offers you a toast. I hope that Alliance Master Qin can take care of Jade Maiden Mountain in the future. Looking at the cute and moving Hai Qing, Qin Feng smiled and said, "This doesn't sound like something you would say. Did your elder Hai Feng tell you to come and curry favor with me?" When Hai Qing was exposed, her pretty face immediately flushed red. Big brother Qin, it was indeed elder Hai Feng who taught me to do this. However, I also hope that Big brother Qin will take care of our Jade Maiden Mountain in the future. Hai Qing stuck her tongue out mischievously. Qin Fen was amused by this girl's cute and obedient behavior. Okay, if Jade Maiden Mountain needs anything in the future, just look for me. When the ladies of Jade Maiden Mountain heard Qin Fen's guarantee, they cheered in their hearts. On the other hand, people from other sects looked at Jade Maiden Mountain with envy and jealousy. Most of them were from sects where men gathered. At this moment, they regretted so much that their intestines turned green. If they had known this would happen, they would have recruited some young and beautiful female disciples into their sections. Hundreds of people sat around 10 tables, drinking and chatting. The atmosphere was very lively. Qin Fen and Wen Yiming sat together and chatted happily. Wen Yiming did not flinch at the crucial moment, which earned Qin Fen's appreciation. "Hey, are you all blockheads? Can't you see that our Alliance Master Qin's table is full of bones? Someone come and help Alliance Master Qin change a set of plates and clean the table." In the middle of the drinking, the Grand Elder of the Wu-Tang clan, Zhang Tiandao, shouted at the Elder of the Stars sect. The Elder of the Stars sect was furious. It was enough for him to stand aside and watch people eat and drink. Now he had to serve tea, pour water, and clean the table for them? Do you really think I'm your little brother? Don't you have hands? Do it yourself. The Elder of the Stars sect was so angry that he glared at Zhang Tiandao. Zhang Tiandao was also angry. He slammed the table and stood up. "You stinking old man. Are you trying to challenge Alliance Master Qin's authority? Be careful that Alliance Master Qin will kill you with one palm." Zhang Tiandao could see that the Elder of the Stars sect was stronger than him. Zhang Tiandao did not dare to make a move himself, but he had Qin Fen as his backing. He was not afraid of the Elder of the Stars sect at all. Qin Fen stood up with a smile and said, "Oh, I heard that someone wants to challenge my authority as the Alliance Master? Which bastard is it? Let me kill him with one palm strike." Qin Fen and Zhang Tiandao echoed each other. The Elder of the Stars sect, who had looked like he would not clean the table even if he was beaten to death, was so scared that he immediately walked over with a smile when he saw Qin Fen stand up. "Hee, Alliance Master Qin, you must have misheard. Let me help you change a plate and clean up the things on your table." The Elder of the Stars sect was so aggrieved that his tears were about to fall down. He was busy for a while. When he had just cleaned up the table on Qin Fen's side, the Elder of the Quick Blade sect sitting at another table also shouted, "Hey, you guys come over and clean up this table too. Why are you so insensible? Do you want me to call you before you listen to me?" Qin Fen took the lead, and the people at the other tables also shouted. Previously, everyone had been infuriated by the Stars sect. They had been refused entry for 3 days and 3 nights, and looked down upon by the Stars sect. Now with Qin Feng's authority, they could finally take revenge. They would not feel sorry for the people of the Stars sect. Hundreds of people ate in full swing, and all the people of the Stars sect became the lackeys to do odd jobs. Ling Baiyu and Ling Chongkong could not stand it anymore. The two of them were afraid that Qin Fen would ask them to clean the table, so they simply hid and pretended that nothing had happened. The meal lasted for more than 2 hours. After they were full of wine and food, everyone was in high spirits and was ready to start the Alliance Master Qin's coronation ceremony. According to Qin Fen, the coronation ceremony would be held in the courtyard where they ate. The disciples of the Stars sect began to get busy again. They took away all the tables and cleaned the courtyard again. Everything was back to normal. "Hee, Martial arts heroes, did everyone enjoy the meal? Just after Qin Fan finished eating, Ling Chongkong walked out with Ling Baiyu. The people of the outer hidden sects looked down on them. They were not afraid of Ling Chongkong anymore, so they were talking loudly. Stop talking nonsense. Let's start the coronation ceremony now. Qin Fan's body emitted a dignified aura, showing off the demeanor of the martial arts leader. The people of the outer hidden sects had already spread out and surrounded the courtyard, emptying the space in the middle for Qin Fan to stand alone. Ling Chongkong also took 3 steps back. Ling Baiyu, who was standing behind him, was holding the Alliance Master Wu Ling's belt. It was a dazzling golden belt. It was specially made when the first Alliance Master of the martial arts world appeared in China. It represented the supreme status of the Alliance Master of the martial arts world. The previous Alliance Master of the martial arts world was taken by Ling Daozi. This Alliance Master's belt was in the Stars sect. Now that Qin Fan had ascended to the position of Alliance Master, he had to carry out the handover ceremony. From then on, the golden belt belonged to Qin Fan. Alliance Master Qin, you are young and promising. You deserve to be the Alliance Master of the martial arts world. Ling Chongkong seemed to have changed into a different person. Before this, he was fighting with Qin Fan with his life. Now he was putting on a smile and saying good things about Qin Fan. I believe that under the leadership of Alliance Master Qin, the martial arts world will develop better and better. Qin Fan was stunned by Ling Chongkong's shamelessness. There was actually someone more shameless than him in this world. Qin Fan sneered and snatched the golden belt. With the belt in his hand, golden-haired Lion King's excited voice rang in Qin Fan's mind. Master, this is a great sage gold equipment. It's the same grade as my Dragon Slayer saber. Qin Fan was stunned the moment he received the golden belt. He initially thought that this belt was just an ordinary toy made of pure gold. Who would have thought that there was a strong spiritual energy hidden in the belt? It was even more powerful than the rare pink equipment that Qin Fan owned. After Qin Fan received the system, he knew that spiritual equipment was classified from white equipment to gold equipment. The full name of the gold equipment was the Great Sage Gold Equipment. So far, Qin Fan's most powerful spiritual equipment was the rare pink equipment. This was the first gold-grade spiritual equipment that he had gotten his hands on. Golden-haired Lion King, what's the use of this golden belt? Qin Fan asked excitedly. Master, the golden belt was personally made by the first alliance leader of the Chinese pugilistic world. It's said that the golden belt can increase the wearer's defense and extend their lifespan. However, even I have never gotten my hands on this treasure. I don't know if the rumors are true or false. Even golden-haired Lion King had yearned for the golden belt for a long time. From this, it could be seen that this great sage gold equipment was not just for show. Qin Fan hurriedly put the golden belt on his body. The golden light emitted from the belt was extremely dazzling. At this moment, Qin Fan felt the spiritual energy from the belt automatically enter his body. It continuously circulated in his body, as if he was cultivating. Qin Fan finally discovered the benefits of the golden belt. This thing could indeed adjust the various indicators of the body to achieve a balance. It could also automatically help the wearer in their cultivation. Qin Fan was extremely excited. This time, he had gotten his hands on the best gold-grade spiritual equipment. However, at this moment, Little Pig's voice was like a bucket of cold water splashed on him. Master, the Great Sage Gold equipment is not the most powerful spiritual equipment in the martial world. It's just that the Hedonist sovereign system only has gold-grade spiritual equipment. The system can't get any higher-grade spiritual equipment. Qin Fan was stunned. A spiritual equipment that even the Hedonist sovereign system couldn't get? How powerful was it? What other grades of spiritual equipment are there above the Great Sage Gold equipment? Qin Fan hurriedly asked. Above gold is the Scarlet Devil Red equipment, and above that is the Destructive Darkness equipment. Little Pig said. Just by hearing the names of these 2 grades of equipment, Qin Fan knew that they must be very powerful. If the Hedonist sovereign system is so powerful, why doesn't it have these 2 grades of spiritual equipment? Qin Fan was puzzled. Chapter 1120. Qin Feng was shocked by Little Pig's words. To Qin Feng, the hedonist sovereign system was already powerful enough. However, the damaged hedonist sovereign system only had 10% of its power. Long live Alliance Leader Qin. All hail Alliance Leader Qin. After Qin Feng put on the golden belt, the crowd cheered. Qin Feng returned to reality from the system and stood in the middle of the crowd. He looked at the crowd proudly. The people of the outer hidden sects were ecstatic. It was as if they could foresee the future of the outer hidden sections. On the other hand, the elders and disciples of the Star sect looked distressed, as if someone had died in their family. Ling Chongkong seemed to have changed into a different person. From the moment he invited Qin Feng and the others into the Star sect, he had a kind smile on his face, as if he welcomed everyone. Haha! Congratulations, Alliance Leader Qin. From this moment onwards, you are officially the Alliance Leader of the martial arts world. The development of the outer martial arts world depends on Alliance Leader Qin. Ling Chongkong even took the initiative to congratulate Qin Feng. The people of the outer hidden sects were confused. They did not know what Ling Chongkong was up to. Qin Feng had come to the Star sect for the coronation ceremony. Now that the golden belt was in his hands, Qin Feng did not plan to stay in the Star sect any longer. Everyone, thank you for coming all the way here to witness my coronation ceremony. Now that the ceremony is over, please go back to your rooms. I have to leave too. Qin Feng bade farewell to the crowd and prepared to leave with Shaoli. The people of the outer hidden sects looked at Qin Feng reluctantly, especially Hai Qing of Jade Maiden Mountain. Her eyes were wide open, and she could not wait to leave with Qin Feng. Alliance Leader Qin, please stay here for a few more days. Ling Chongkong suddenly spoke, as if he wanted to stop Qin Feng. The people of the outer hidden sects surrounded him and glared fiercely at Ling Chongkong. Stupid old man. What are you trying to do now? Alliance Leader Qin, let's go. We shouldn't stay in the Star sect anymore. These people are very cunning. Alliance Leader Qin will be in danger if you stay alone. Even though Ling Chongkong appeared to be amiable, the people of the outer hidden sects did not think highly of this old man. Ling Chongkong had wanted to kill Qin Feng previously. How could this guy suddenly repent? Qin Feng naturally understood the logic that everyone could see. Qin Feng pondered for a moment, then unexpectedly said, "Oh? Why did Sect Master Chongkong ask me to stay?" "Hehe. You don't have to worry, Alliance Leader Qin. You're the leader now. Why would the Star sect set you up again? The reason why I asked you to stay is that I need to hand over some things to you. After all, the Star sect is the sect where the previous leader of the martial arts circle is. There are many things that I need to hand over to you." Ling Chongkong's words were reasonable, and the people from the outer hidden sects did not know how to refute him. Qin Feng smiled and said, "So that's how it is. Looks like I've been careless. The leader of the Wuling Alliance has a heavy responsibility, so it's only natural for me to familiarize myself with the work. I'll stay here for a few more days and leave after I've handed over the work to Sect Leader Chongkong." It was as if Qin Feng and Ling Chongkong had turned into two completely different people. Not long ago, the two of them were fighting to the death. Now they were talking and laughing, as if they were old friends who had not seen each other for many years. Be it the disciples of the outer hidden sects or the Star sect, they were all dumbfounded. They had no idea what the two of them were trying to do. Haha, if Alliance Leader Qin is willing to cooperate, then everything will be fine, Ling Chongkong said with a smile. Shaoli pulled Qin Feng's arm and whispered to Qin Feng worriedly, "Master, I think that old man is up to no good. Let's go." "That's fine too. Follow Hai Qing to Mount Jade Maiden for a few days. I'll look for you after I'm done with my work." Qin Feng pondered for a moment. It was not a good idea to keep Shaoli by his side. Shaoli was still too weak. If they were to fight, he would have to divert his attention to take care of this girl. Shaoli quickly held Qin Feng's arm tightly. She thought that Qin Feng had misunderstood her. "Master, I won't leave if you're not leaving. I'm just worried that Master." Qin Feng patted Shaoli's head and said in the Heroes Alliance through telepathy, "Listen to me and leave first. I have other plans." Shaoli looked at Qin Feng in a daze. Qin Feng nodded his head firmly. "All right then. Master, Stay in Stargate to deal with your work. Shaoli will follow Mount Jade Maiden back. If Master doesn't come to find Shaoli in 3 days, Shaoli will come to Stargate to look for you. Shaoli was a sensible woman. She would not go against Qin Feng's will after she saw that Qin Feng had made his decision. No one understood Qin Fen's thoughts, but they couldn't persuade Qin Fen. After saying goodbye to Qin Fen, they left Star Sect first. Inside the Starlight Sect, there were only disciples and elders of the sect. Only Qin Feng stayed here. Ling Chongkong was puzzled. He thought he would have to spend a lot of effort to persuade Qin Feng to stay. Who would have thought that he would be able to make Qin Feng stay so easily? Haha. Alliance leader Qin. I'll ask Elder Ling Baiyu to arrange a room for you. Take a rest first. I'll talk to you about work later, Ling Chongkong said with a smile. Qin Feng followed Ling Baiyu's instructions and went inside with Ling Chongkong. Ling Baiyu arranged a superior guest room for Qin Feng. He was respectful along the way. Alliance leader Qin, are you satisfied with this room? Qin Feng looked around the room and said indifferently, It's okay. You can leave if there's nothing else. I want to rest. All right. Ling Baiyu bowed and left the room. However, the smile on his face turned into a cold murderous aura the moment he closed the door. Ling Baiyu had been unhappy with Qin Feng for a long time. However, he was not as skilled as Qin Feng, so he had been swallowing his anger. Now that Qin Feng was left alone in Stargate, Ling Baiyu wished he could mobilize all the disciples in the sect to kill this guy. Sect leader Chongkong. Ling Baiyu went to Ling Chongkong's room in a hurry after he settled Qin Feng down. Ling Chongkong was sitting on the high platform with his eyes closed. He said coldly, Are you in a hurry to reincarnate? Ling Baiyu rolled his eyes. He had no choice but to calm himself down. He even slowed down his speech. Sect leader Chongkong. That Qin Feng is too arrogant. He's left alone in our sect. Do you want me to bring some people to? Ling Baiyu made a gesture of slitting his throat. Ling Chongkong glanced at him in disdain. Sure, bring the whole stellar sect to destroy him. That brat is at the 4th stage of true qi. He can kill you all with one palm. Ling Baiyu's mouth twitched. He didn't expect Qin Feng to step into the 4th stage of true qi at such a young age. This was unprecedented in the history of the inner hidden sections. Chapter 1121. Ling Chongkong had already thought of what Ling Baiyu said. The reason why he asked Qin Feng to stay was not to hand over the job, but to find a chance to kill this brat. Killing Qin Feng is a given. Go and gather some people first. I don't need too many people. Just get the 8 elders and some elite disciples to come. I'm currently recuperating. We'll make our move in 2 hours. Ling Baiyu became excited when he heard Ling Chongkong's words. Sect leader Chongkong, I'll do it now. By the way, get some ecstasy smoke and blow it into Qin Feng's room. Ling Chongkong added. Ling Baiyu smirked. The Starlight sect had their own ecstasy smoke. It would be a piece of cake to kill Qin Feng after he was drugged. Ling Baiyu excitedly went to make arrangements. Ling Chongkong's face darkened. He had to kill Qin Feng tonight. Little pig, is there any way for me to break through quickly? Qin Feng sat quietly on the bed in his room. The people from the Starlight sect wanted to kill him, and Qin Feng stayed, because he wanted to destroy the entire Starlight sect. Master, you're at the peak of stage 9 inner qi. It's a big bottleneck for you to break through to the true energy stage. It's hard to break through with medicinal pills. You need to find enlightenment in battles. Qin Feng thought of the Battle Spirit Palace. He could go there and summon all the 9 dragons of China. However, Qin Feng had just broken through to the peak of stage 9 inner qi, so the inner qi in his body was still empty. Master, I suggest you upgrade the heavenly blessed Earth Cave Pavilion. You need to rely on your own cultivation to break through to the next realm. You can condense inner qi quickly with medicinal pills, but your strength will drop a lot after the breakthrough, Little Pig continued. Qin Feng understood what Little Pig meant. Cultivation was against the natural order. Even if one increased his realm by relying on medicinal pills, his strength would not necessarily increase. Just like Hua Tua, a stage 1 inner qi expert, he broke through by eating medicinal pills. He might not be able to defeat Shimen Shui Shui, who was at the peak of stage 9 inner qi. Qin Feng attached great importance to the true energy stage. He could consume medicinal pills to increase his strength in the inner qi stage, but he planned to break through the barrier with his own cultivation. Qin Feng entered the system interface of the heavenly blessings and earthly caves. The spiritual energy here was 50 times more than that on Earth. 1 day of cultivation here was equivalent to 60 days on Earth. Every second would cost 2 Hedonist points, and the upgrade would cost 50,000 Hedonist points. After rising to rank 3, the spiritual qi of heaven and earth increased by 80 times, and it consumed 3 Hedonist points per second. Leveling up would cost 100,000 Hedonist points. Qin Feng didn't look down, because he didn't have many Hedonist points left, and he was planning to save them to open the Immortal Island. After some consideration, Qin Feng spent 150,000 Hedonist points to upgrade the Heavenly Blessing and Earthly Cave to level 3. Rumble. There was a loud noise in the cave, and the originally rich spiritual energy suddenly surged, becoming boiling and violent. Standing in the middle of the cave, Qin Feng could feel the spiritual energy drilling into his body. Even the blood in his body flowed faster. Master, the Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion has been upgraded to level 3. Staying in there for 1 second will cost you 3 Hedonist points. The countdown has started. Master, hurry up and cultivate. Little Pig's anxious voice sounded. Qin Feng was jolted awake. 3 Hedonist points per second might seem insignificant, but it was a frightening amount when accumulated. The level 3 Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion was indeed powerful. The spiritual energy was abundant, and a layer of red mist appeared in the cave. That was the original color of the spiritual energy. Qin Feng sat cross-legged and began to cultivate. The spiritual energy rushed into Qin Feng's body and filled his meridians and blood. Then it quickly circulated through his body and returned to his dantian. After a small circulation, Qin Feng continued with a large circulation. Time passed by quickly during cultivation. It felt like 2 hours had passed in the blink of an eye. The inner qi in Qin Feng's dantian was initially empty, but after 2 hours, it became saturated and expanded. He felt like he was about to break through. Master, it's about time. Now, you need to train your willpower and search for an opportunity to break through in a fierce battle. Little Pig's voice sounded. Qin Feng immediately exited the Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion. This was a place for tycoons, so Qin Feng didn't dare to stay for too long. Ding! Host Qin Feng has cultivated in level 3 Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion for 2 hours and 3 minutes. 22400 Hedonist points have been spent. Host's total remaining Hedonist points, 192,000. The system notification sounded as soon as Qin Feng exited the Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion. The concentration of spiritual energy in level 3 Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion was 80 times that of Earth. Cultivating for 1 day was equivalent to cultivating for 80 days on Earth. Qin Feng's 2 hours of cultivation was equivalent to cultivating for 7 days and 7 nights on Earth. Rumble. After leaving the Heavenly Blessed and Earthly Cave Pavilion, Qin Feng immediately entered the Battle Spirit Palace. The sound of a fierce battle could be heard from the Battle Spirit Palace. Qin Feng summoned the 9 dragons of China and fought against a group of experts alone. The battle was exceptionally fierce. The 9 dragons of China only possessed sufficient strength, but they had no emotions. Every time they attacked, they would attack with killing moves. They would not show any mercy to Qin Feng. However, it was in this kind of life and death battle that Qin Feng learned more things. He could feel his strength increasing rapidly. Master, someone is trying to frame you. While Qin Feng was fighting fiercely, Little Pig's voice sounded in the Battle Spirit Palace. Qin Feng communicated with Little Pig telepathically while fighting. What's going on? Someone blew knockout smoke into Master's room. They want to knock Master out. Little Pig said quickly. Golden Fur Lion King was furious. He raised the dragon saber and roared furiously. Master, Golden Fur Lion King requests to fight. I can kill that old bastard Ling Chongkong by myself. Qin Feng already felt that he was on the verge of a breakthrough. He could not afford to make any mistakes at this critical moment. Thus, Qin Feng released Golden Fur Lion King. However, he did not allow Golden Fur Lion King to act recklessly. He only allowed Golden Fur Lion King to hide in the room to protect himself. "Little pig, buy me the antidote for the knockout smoke," Qin Feng said. "Master, the knockout smoke of the starry sect should be self-developed. I'm not sure what kind of antidote is used. I suggest that Master buy a bottle of 100 poison powder. It can cure all kinds of strange poisons in the world." Qin Feng immediately bought a bottle of 100 poison powder without hesitation. He drank half of it, and gave the other half to Golden Fur Lion King. Golden Fur Lion King leaped onto the beam of the room, and hid very well. Qin Feng was still sitting cross-legged on the big bed in the room. However, his telepathic thoughts were fighting with the 9 dragons of China, in the Battle Spirit Palace. Bang bang bang. The battle in the Battle Spirit Palace was unceasing, and the sound was intense. Qin Feng also felt that he was already half a step into the true energy stage. The inner qi in his body began to change. It was much purer and stronger than before. This was the normal change before the inner qi stage entered the true energy stage. Rumble. After a while, there was a sudden explosion in Qin Feng's body. Waves of milky white true energy gushed out. Qin Feng felt a strong sense of relief. He faced the sky and let out a long roar. Just the roar at the moment of breakthrough sent the 9 dragons of China flying. "Master, congratulations on successfully stepping into the true energy stage." Little Pig's pleasantly surprised voice sounded in Qin Feng's mind. Qin Feng was extremely excited. He had been yearning for the true energy stage for a long time. Now he had finally broken through. 10 months ago, he was still a powerless hedonistic young master. He broke through to the true energy stage in 10 months. In the whole of China, only Qin Feng had this kind of speed. What was that sound just now? At the door of Qin Feng's room, Ling Baiyu was already guarding with a group of elders and dozens of elite disciples. The dozens of disciples were blowing the knockout smoke into the room. Suddenly, they heard the sound of Qin Feng's body exploding when he broke through. Everyone immediately became vigilant. Ling Baiyu was so scared that he was trembling. Now that sect leader Ling Chongkong had not arrived, how would they dare to fight with Qin Feng? "It seems like there's no sound again? Could it be that Qin Feng fainted and fell from the bed to the ground?" An elder guessed. The rest of the elders and disciples had different opinions. They all thought that it was very likely that Qin Feng had fainted. This knockout smoke was made by the Starlight sect. Although the strength of the drug was similar to the knockout smoke in the martial arts world, the antidote was different. Just now, dozens of disciples took turns to blow the knockout smoke into the room. Even an elephant would faint. Qin Feng should have indeed fainted. "You two quickly go and see the situation." Ling Baiyu did not have the guts to go, so he ordered the 2 disciples behind him. The 2 disciples were depressed. They regretted squatting behind Ling Baiyu. Creak. Although they were extremely reluctant, the 2 disciples could only bite the bullet and push the door. The door gradually opened. One of the disciples looked into the room through the crack of the door and saw Qin Feng lying on the ground. "Great Elder Baiyu has fainted. That grandson has really fainted." After the 2 disciples saw the situation clearly, they were extremely excited. Ling Baiyu and the others were instantly relieved. Qin Feng's performance in the battle with Ling Chongkong was too strong. The people of the Starlight sect were really afraid of Qin Feng. "Good job. This brat has fainted. Immediately go and report to sect leader Chongkong. Let him come and capture Qin Feng." Ling Baiyu ordered the 2 disciples who opened the door. Before the 2 had time to leave, a black shadow had already landed. Sect leader Chongkong. Seeing the person, everyone stood up in surprise. Ling Baiyu immediately went up and said, "Qin Feng's grandson has been knocked out by the knockout smoke. Let's go in and kill him now." Ling Chongkong slightly frowned. He was still very vigilant. Logically speaking, Qin Feng was a powerhouse at the 4th stage of true qi. How could he be so easily knocked out by the knockout smoke? "Don't be impatient. I'll go and take a look first." Chapter 1122. Ling Baiyu. along with a few elders and more than 20 disciples of the star sect, held their breaths and waited outside the door. Everyone's eyes fell on Ling Chongkong, who was on the roof, and their hearts were in their throats. Ling Chongkong was also very nervous. When he fought with Qin Feng previously, he used his ultimate technique, the 38 mansions of the stars, but he still couldn't defeat Qin Feng. At this moment, Ling Chongkong carefully looked into the room. He could smell the strong smell of the intoxicating smoke. But before coming here, everyone had taken the antidote, so Ling Chongkong was not afraid of the intoxicating smoke entering his body. In the room, Qin Feng was lying on the ground beside the bed. It seemed that he had fallen from the bed. The room was silent, and no one else could be seen. Swoosh! Ling Chongkong leaped into the air and flew into the air. He shouted at the crowd below, "Qin Feng has already fainted. Everyone charge in!" Rumble! As Ling Chongkong's voice fell, he had already stepped on the roof, and the entire roof suddenly collapsed. Ling Chongkong leaped again, and was ready to dive down to capture Qin Feng. Rumble! On the ground, Ling Baiyu had already led a group of elders and disciples into the room. As soon as he entered the room, Ling Baiyu's expression changed dramatically, and he shouted, "Damn it! It's an ambush! Everyone retreat! Qin Feng is not unconscious. He's gone!" Everyone instantly panicked, and they were completely in a mess. The great elder, who rushed in front, wanted to run out, but the disciples outside did not come to their senses and rushed in again. For a moment, no one retreated. A pink light flashed, and in the blink of an eye, dozens of elite disciples fell to the ground. They were all stage 8 inner chi disciples and above, and they did not even have time to scream before they died. Rumble! The whole room was filled with the smell of blood, but at this moment, there was another loud noise on the roof. A black shadow flew out from the room. Under the sunlight, his long hair was shining, and he was holding a golden longsword in his hand. The longsword was domineering and mighty, and it was engraved with the pattern of a long dragon. "You ant, how dare you offend my master? I have not liked you for a long time. Take this!" The golden fur lion king roared angrily, causing the surrounding houses to shake. Ling Chongkong had just bent down, and he had not figured out what was going on. Why was there suddenly another person? Moreover, he was a true Qi stage expert. "Qin Feng, you dare to deceive me by pretending to be unconscious? You're indeed a treacherous villain. I must kill you today." Ling Chongkong glared at the 20 or so elite disciples, who had fallen to the ground in an instant. He was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at Su Yan. It was obvious that his plan had failed, but he still had the cheek to curse Su Yan as a sinister villain. However, Ling Chongkong ignored the existence of the Golden Fur Lion King. He thought that this yellow-haired brute was just Qin Feng's little brother. Just as he was about to send the Golden Fur Lion King flying with a palm strike, a saber light flashed. The surging aura scared Ling Chongkong so much that he almost wet his pants. "You, what realm are you in?" Ling Chongkong cried out in shock. Halfway through his sentence, his entire body was sent flying by the Golden Fur Lion King's saber. In midair, Ling Chongkong's body was like a kite with a broken string. He shot all the way to a tall building and directly destroyed it. Rumble! Once the Golden Fur Lion King succeeded in his attack, Qin Feng had already killed all the disciples that came. The remaining 8 elders were so scared that they retreated out of the room. With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng had already chased after them. "A bunch of grandsons, you want to charm me? Why are you running now? All of you, die obediently for me." Qin Feng held Moon's Sorrow in one hand and stood on the cosmic flying sword under his feet. Qin Feng usually did not show this flying sword in front of outsiders, unless it was someone Qin Feng had to kill. Ling Baiyu and the 8 great elders had nowhere to retreat, so they all stopped and surrounded Qin Feng. They obviously had the advantage in numbers, but they were all trembling in fear. What is this?" An elder looked at the cosmic flying sword under Qin Feng's feet and cried out in shock. Qin Feng stood on the flying sword, and his body was suspended in midair. That scene was extremely strange. Even Ling Chongkong, the leader of the Starlight sect, could not do this. Ling Baiyu, who was more knowledgeable, suddenly came to his senses. Staring at the cosmic flying sword, his eyes flashed with greed. This is a flying sword? So there really is such a celestial weapon in the Chinese martial arts world. With a flying sword in hand, you can kill people without leaving a trace. You can go to heaven and earth like walking on flat ground. Flying sword? There really is a flying sword. Great Elder Baiyu, let's work together and get this flying sword. After recognizing the cosmic flying sword under Qin Feng's feet, the 9 people who were originally afraid lost their minds. A flying sword was so precious in the martial arts world that even Ling Baiyu and the other great elders of the Starlight sect had never seen one in their lives. It was said that with a flying sword in hand, you could kill people who were above your level in minutes. This kind of heaven-defying celestial weapon was something that people would fight for even if they had to risk their lives. Qin Feng, I don't believe you have the ability to set up a formation, Ling Baiyu roared, and the 8 great elders suddenly changed their figures. The 8 people stood in different corners. The positions were very delicate, and Ling Baiyu stood in the middle of the 8 people, as if he was connecting the 8 people. Qin Feng had just upgraded the heaven and earth formation not long ago. He was very proficient in setting up and breaking formations. At this time, at a glance, he recognized that the formation Ling Baiyu and the others set up was the powerful formation, which could raise the strength of the 9 people in the formation to a high level. The 9 people were very busy. They were all quickly urging their internal qi to set up the formation. Ling Baiyu was the formation eye of this powerful formation, and the formation was supported by his true qi. Qin Feng looked at the 9 people jumping around and felt funny in his heart. He was not in a hurry to kill the 9 people. He wanted to see how powerful this powerful formation was after it took effect. Qin Feng also found that the sects in the martial arts world were really very formal. During the martial arts storm, Qin Feng encountered the Wudong 13 sword formation and the Shaolin 18 bronze men formation. Now the Starlight sect was also setting up a formation in the battle, and the powerful formation was more powerful than the formations of Shaolin Wudong. As for the warriors in the secular world of Wuxia, they were much worse. Even when they attacked together, they fought separately. It was rare to see sects or big families who knew how to set up a formation. Boom! The powerful formation soon took effect, and there was a muffled sound on the bodies of Ling Baiyu and the others. Qin Feng could clearly feel that the airflow in the surroundings had already changed, and a dangerous aura was rapidly approaching. Qin Feng, I want to see how much ability you have. Kill. Following Ling Baiyu's order, the 8 grand elders of the Starlight sect flew over. These 8 people held a sword in their hands. Their strength was comparable to Ling Yangzi and Aunt Ling Shui, who went to Devil City last time. They were all experts at the peak of stage 9 inner qi. Bang! Bang! Before they arrived, they were already shrouded by sword qi in the air. The 8 grand elders of the Starlight sect were also very calculative. They knew that Qin Feng was very powerful, so they didn't dare to approach him. They stood in the range of the formation and used sword qi to attack from afar. Qin Feng stood in the powerful formation and was instantly surrounded by turbulent sword qi. When the sword qi was about to penetrate Qin Feng's body, a pink light flashed, and in the next moment, Qin Feng was already floating in the sky above everyone's head. Rumble! Hundreds of sword qi collided at the place where Qin Feng stood just now. The ground shook and the earth cracked. The 8 grand elders, Ling Baiyu, hurriedly used his qi to protect himself from the airflow of the explosion. No wonder it's the legendary flying sword. Its speed is too amazing. Ling Baiyu forgot to fight and looked up at the pink flying sword under Qin Feng's feet. His eyes shone with a golden light. The 8 grand elders were also dumbfounded. If they could get their hands on such a treasure that could move 100 meters in the blink of an eye, no matter how powerful their opponents were, they would be unparalleled in terms of escaping. Kill! Kill that brat! Ling Baiyu quickly calmed down and took the lead to stab the sword above his head. The 8 grand elders didn't have time to admire the flying sword. They danced with their swords in their hands. These people practiced the starlight sword technique. Different shining stars appeared behind them. When the power of the constellations of 9 people gathered together, The momentum was quite spectacular. Buzz! There was a turbulence in the air. In Qin Feng's hand, a dazzling purple battle bow appeared. The battle bow was engraved with the image of a heavenly eagle. There was no string on the bow, but Qin Feng pulled it to the fullest. Swoosh! Hundreds of streaks of sword qi were about to pierce through Qin Feng's body when a heavenly eagle's fury appeared out of nowhere. The people below were dumbfounded as they saw a purple streak of light. It was a massive heavenly eagle swooping down. Rumble! The heavenly eagle bow's power was boundless. When it was shot, the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. The hundreds of sword qi were instantly swallowed by the heavenly eagle. After they landed, a huge crater was created. The powerful formation of Ling Baiyu and the others had been broken. The 9 people were fleeing in panic. Among them, 2 grand elders didn't dodge in time and were killed in the deep crater. Qin Feng stood on the starlight flying sword and was still floating high in the sky. He activated the invincible golden body. With the purple heavenly eagle bow in his hand, milky white true energy gushed out of his body. He was like a god of war descending from the sky. This was Qin Feng's strength after breaking through to the true energy stage. 1 man and 1 bow. He easily broke the formation laid by Ling Baiyu and the others. Experts at the peak of stage 9 inner qi were extremely powerful in the secular world of China. They were existences on par with the 9 dragons of China. But at this moment, an opponent of this level couldn't even withstand 1 strike from Qin Feng. Screech! Qin Feng didn't stop after the arrow fell. The heavenly eagle bow shot out continuously. More than a dozen purple heavenly eagles appeared in the sky. They all swooped down like divine birds. Rumble! The ground was already rumbling. The movement was so huge that it was like an earthquake. Ling Baiyu and the others didn't have the mood to fight with Qin Feng. They only cared about running for their lives. Not only did Qin Feng attack people, but he also shot at some of the main buildings of the Starlight sect. One after another, the purple heavenly eagles flew and landed on collapsed castles and houses. Ah! My leg was blown off. Elder Baiyu, save me. Qin Feng is too powerful. We are no match for him. What about sect leader Changkong? Why don't we surrender? Chapter 11:23. In fact, Qin Feng hadn't even started the fight yet. He was just warming up. In the end, the elders of the Starlight sect were utterly defeated, and the so-called elite disciples were killed by the flying sword. Ling Baiyu led the remaining 4 elders to escape. When they realized that the sect leader of Vast Sky sect was missing, the 5 of them were so anxious that they wanted to surrender to Qin Feng and beg for mercy. Sect leader of Vast Sky sect. I saw the sect leader of Vast Sky sect. One of the elders cried out in alarm. The rest of the people looked towards the sky and saw that on the roof, the sect leader of Changkong was fighting with a golden-haired madman. Moreover, Ling Changkong was at a disadvantage and was being beaten up by the Golden Fur Lion King. Holy shit! Where did that lion head come from? Why haven't I seen him before? This lion maniac is so powerful. He beat up the sect leader of Vast Sky sect and made him run for his life? We're doomed. Where did so many powerful people come from? The Starlight sect is going to be annihilated. Ling Baiyu and the other 4 elders had been looking for Ling Changkong. The sect leader of Vast Sky sect was their last support. Now that the sect leader couldn't even protect himself, Ling Baiyu and the other 4 elders were in complete despair. Swoosh! A pink light flashed. 2 of the elders at the peak of stage 9 inner qi suddenly froze and fell to the ground due to the inertia of their escape. Blood oozed out from their bodies and dyed the ground red. Ling Baiyu and the other 2 elders were dumbfounded. They didn't even know how the 2 elders died. Ling Baiyu, do you think you can escape? The Starlight sect wants to assassinate me? This is the price. With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng appeared in front of the 3 elders on his flying sword like a ghost. The 2 elders were so scared that they fell to the ground on their butts. They didn't even have the strength to escape. Ling Baiyu's body was trembling and his voice was trembling. Alliance leader Qin, this is all a misunderstanding. I was going to ask you to have dinner with us. Please don't kill us. Qin Feng sneered. Have dinner? You guys from the Starlight sect are really powerful. Do you guys eat sleeping gas every day? What's sleeping gas? I don't know. Ling Baiyu still wanted to quibble at this time. With a flash of pink light, the starry sky flying sword directly pierced through the hearts of the two elders sitting on the ground, causing blood to spurt out. The two elders didn't even know how they died. Alliance leader Qin, please spare my life. I was possessed by greed and disrespected Alliance leader Qin. This is all because of sect leader Chongkong. No, it's that bastard Ling Chongkong who forced us to do this. My respect for Alliance leader Qin is like a surging river. How could I dare to frame Alliance leader Qin? At the critical moment of life and death, Ling Baiyu betrayed Ling Chongkong. Qin Feng found that the people of Star Sect were more shameless than the other. Qin Feng's favorite thing was to kill all the people who were more shameless than him. Whoosh! Without wasting any time, the pink light flashed again. This seemed to have become a sign of death. When Ling Baiyu saw the flashing light, his heart was already in his throat. He was an expert of the true energy stage. He quickly wanted to dodge the flying sword attack, but when his body jumped into the air, he suddenly froze. The sound of skin cutting spread out. Ling Baiyu's body was cut in half by the starry sky flying sword. His upper body rushed higher into the air due to inertia, but his lower body was pulled down by gravity. The battle had only lasted for 10 minutes, but the death was extremely tragic. The 9 elders of Star Sect were all dead. Among them, 8 were at the peak of Stage 9 inner chi, and 1 was at Stage 1 true energy stage. In the secular world of China, this kind of expert was comparable to the lineup of the 9 dragons and the 13 peaks. Even in the outer hidden sects, it was enough to laugh proudly in the martial world. Even the 5 sects of China were afraid of them. But in Qin Feng's eyes, they were just 9 wild dogs. Boom! The battle here had already ended, but in the distant sky, there were still continuous loud noises. In the Star Sect, all the disciples of the sect were mobilized. When hundreds of disciples rushed to the courtyard where Qin Feng stood, everyone had an expression of disbelief. The people lying on the ground in disorder were the elders of the Star Sect, and dozens of elite disciples piled up into a small hill. These elders and senior brothers were invincible in everyone's eyes, but they all died in a bizarre way. Alliance leader Qin. The disciples of the Star Sect finally came back to their senses. They realized the seriousness of the problem. These elders and disciples were obviously killed by Qin Feng. Your elders and senior brothers were all killed by me, because they wanted to kill me. As members of the Star Sect, you can come and take revenge at any time, but the result is death. I will also give you another choice. Obey me from now on, because from today on, the Stardust Sect no longer exists. Unknowingly, Qin Feng had already landed on the tallest building of the Star Sect on his flying sword. The hundreds of disciples of the Star Sect were trembling in fear. Qin Feng killed 9 elders, and more than 20 senior brothers on his own. The remaining disciples were only average. How would they dare to take revenge on Qin Feng? Alliance leader Qin, I didn't know that the sect leader sent people to frame you. I hope you can forgive me. Alliance leader Qin, I'm willing to follow you and join the sect you founded. Alliance leader Qin is mighty. May you live as long as the heavens. One by one, the disciples knelt on the ground. In the end, hundreds of disciples knelt down and worshipped Qin Feng. In the face of absolute power, and the title of the Alliance leader of the martial arts circle, the disciples of the Star Sect lost all their arrogance. They could only submit or die. Very good. Stay here and don't move. I will come to you later. Swoosh. Qin Feng's figure had already disappeared, but his voice was still echoing in the air. Hundreds of meters away from the Star Sect, golden-haired Lion King was brutally attacking Ling Chongkong. Qin Feng arrived instantly on his flying sword, but he didn't join the battle. He wanted to see the strength of golden-haired Lion King. Damn it! So this lion head is the helper you found. Qin Feng, today the Star Sect will perish together with you. Don't even think about getting anything good out of it. Ling Chongkong was angered by golden-haired Lion King. Suddenly, he roared into the sky, and a strange sound came out of his mouth. This was the secret signal of the Star Sect. It would only be used when the sect was faced with a disaster. When the secret signal was released, all the members of the Star Sect had to move together to fight against the enemy. Beep, 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 beep. Ling Chongkong screamed again and again like a fool. Qin Feng felt that he was turning into a foolish bird. However, after a long time, not a single disciple of the Star Sect came. They were all kneeling in the courtyard, waiting for Qin Feng's arrangement. Now that the outcome was set, who would care about Ling Chongkong who was about to die? I say, Ling Chongkong, are you trying to learn how to chirp like a bird? Don't waste your effort. I have killed the 8 elders of the Star Sect in Lingbayu. The remaining disciples have all surrendered to me. Are you trying to frame me? Then I will destroy the entire Star Sect. From today onwards, the name of the Star Sect will be removed from the entire martial arts world. Qin Feng's voice was loud and clear. He was full of majesty. Ling Chongkong finally stopped yelling. He was completely dumbstruck. Looking at the messy Star Sect in the distance, Ling Chongkong seemed to have woken up from a dream. He already regretted making an enemy out of Qin Feng. He realized that he had underestimated Qin Feng's strength. This person was simply a demon from hell. You tried to be ruthless, but he was even more ruthless than you. You played dirty, but he played dirty until you couldn't tell north from south. Rumble! A loud sound suddenly exploded on Ling Chongkong's body. Ling Chongkong's clothes were already tattered. Now all of his clothes were blown away. His white hair shot up into the sky. His eyes were bloodshot and his face was ferocious. He looked like a wild beast that had gone mad. Qin Feng, Lionhead, you are the ones who forced me into a dead end. Even if I die, I will drag you down with me, Ling Chongkong roared. The valley shook violently, and the true energy in the surroundings tumbled. Even Qin Feng could feel that the old man's strength was increasing rapidly. Master, quickly hide further away. Let me deal with this idiot. Golden Fur Lion King suddenly became serious. He was aware of the danger. Qin Feng stepped on his flying sword and moved quickly. His voice echoed in the valley. Golden Fur Lion King, what's going on? Did that old fart have a breakthrough? How is this a breakthrough? This is a truth explosion. Only true Qi stage experts can truth explosion. That is to explode the true energy in their body and instantly increase their strength. The effect of a true Qi stage martial artist's truth explosion is similar to that of a devil cultivator's berserk state. However, after the truth explosion, it is extremely harmful to the human body. If it's light, it will cause a drop in cultivation level. If it's heavy, it will cause a sudden death. Fuck. Master, quickly run. This old man is crazy. He exploded all the true energy in his body. This is suicide. Golden Fur Lion King was halfway through his explanation when suddenly, loud noises could be heard in the sky. In the blink of an eye, 38 shining stars appeared behind Ling Chongkong. The 38 constellation sword technique attacked quickly. Sword Qi covered the sky and covered the earth. In an instant, it enveloped Qin Feng and Golden Fur Lion King. Yuan, if you want to die, then scram to the side. Don't even think of dragging my master down with you. Golden Fur Lion King was aware of the danger. He did not care about the danger, and rushed forward with the Dragon Slayer saber. As he brandished his saber, several golden dragons appeared in the air. The roars of the dragons resounded throughout the valley. Loud noises could be heard in the sky. Sword Qi and Saber Qi collided violently. It was as if the sky was going to be blasted open. Qin Feng stepped on his flying sword and dodged continuously. At the same time, he was also observing Ling Chongkong's changes. This old man's 38 constellation sword technique could only be used once. After that, the true energy in his body would be depleted. He would need to rest for a while before he could use it again. In the end, it was as if Ling Chongkong had eaten dazzling stride. The 38 constellation sword technique could not be stopped. Every time he swung his sword, the dim stars behind him would instantly regain their brightness. Bang, bang, bang. Although Golden Fur Lion King was fierce, the true energy in his body could not keep up. His body was hit by dozens of sword Qi, and he fell from the sky into the deep pit on the ground. With a flash of pink light, Golden Fur Lion King suddenly disappeared from the huge pit. Following that, Hundreds of sword chi descended from the sky and penetrated the huge pit even deeper. Golden Fur Lion King, are you all right? Qin Feng pulled Golden Fur Lion King and stepped on his flying sword. Chapter 1124. You can't be blamed for this. I didn't expect Ling Chongkong to explode his true energy. Qin Feng had gradually understood true energy explosion. Just like how inner Qi stage experts could explode Qi, true Qi stage experts had already condensed true essence in their body. After the explosion, it would become true energy explosion. Master, that old man has already gone mad. He exploded all the true essence in his body. Right now true Qi is endless. His attack and defense are shockingly strong. However, after the true energy explosion, we don't need to kill him. He will die by himself. So that's how it is. Then let's hide for a while. How long can this damned old man's true energy explosion last? Qin Feng asked. The true energy explosion time has a huge relationship with the true Qi stage. True Qi stage level 4 can completely explode true essence for at least an hour. When Golden Fur Lion King's voice fell, Qin Feng's heart immediately became gloomy. An hour of true energy explosion. Even if Qin Feng escaped, he wouldn't be able to escape. He couldn't possibly escape on a flying sword for an hour, right? Let's not talk about whether the true Qi in Qin Feng's body could support the flying sword for an hour. Even if he could, it would be embarrassing enough for Qin Feng. Damn it, I'm not running anymore. Let's fight it out with him. Qin Feng roared. The purple thunder robe on his body turned into the blood demon armor. The flowing blood color was full of dominance. Even Golden Fur Lion King was stunned for a moment. Master, this is the myriad beast's armor. You also have this treasure. Golden Fur Lion King called the myriad beast's armor. That was what the outer martial arts world called it. Wherever Qin Feng went, the ground behind him would instantly explode. Ling Chongkong stood on top of a valley. The stars behind him flickered endlessly, as if he had inexhaustible true Qi. Roar! Master, hide first. I'll go fight it out with that old man. As a madman of his generation, Golden Fur Lion King could not bear to keep running. He leaped and his figure was like an agile cheetah. In an instant, he flew to Ling Chongkong's side. Roar, roar! A roar resounded from the mountain top. The Golden Fur Lion King's lion roar was not just for show. The roar emitted a powerful true Qi, which instantly blocked the incoming sword Qi. Bang! An explosion came from Golden Fur Lion King's body. A layer of milky white true Qi appeared around his body. Golden Fur Lion King's domineering aura doubled. He held the Dragon Slayer saber and swung it. Lion head, I'll make sure you die a graveless death today. Facing the berserk Golden Fur Lion King, Ling Chongkong had a cold smile on his face and did not move an inch. Rumble! The purple treasured sword was raised, and in an instant, the power of 5 constellations descended. The violent aura enveloped the Golden Fur Lion King, swallowing the surging saber Qi. The Golden Fur Lion King retreated explosively, smashing a deep pit into the ground. Just based on your current strength, it's not enough for me to kill. Ling Chongkong, who had activated his true form, was too powerful. Another 3 sword strikes landed, bringing along the power of 6 constellations, and instantly smashed into the deep pit. Rumble! A loud explosion sounded. However, a huge shield had appeared above the pit. The black tortoise shield was engraved with ancient and mysterious runes that flickered with a dark brown light. All the sword Qi collided with the black tortoise shield, and the huge shield sunk into the ground a little. However, there were no cracks on the shield, but some fine sword marks appeared. Qin Feng understood the strength of the black tortoise shield very well. When he fought with the dragon god could not do anything to the black tortoise shield. However, after Ling Chongkong activated his true form, the sword marks on the black tortoise shield increased more and more. He felt that if this continued, the entire shield would be broken. Roar, roar! The shield flew up, and the Golden Fur Lion King flew out from below. His golden hair was messed up, stained with dirt, and looked a little messy. The Golden Fur Lion King roared furiously in the sky. The Dragon Slayer saber in his hand slashed out illusions, and the saber light and sword shadow clashed continuously in the sky. Bang 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 bang. The loud explosions never stopped. Qin Feng was only at the realm of stage 1 true qi, so he did not dare to face Ling Changkong's sword qi head-on. He stepped on his flying sword and continuously dodged. The golden fur lion king was hit from time to time, and the true qi in his body was almost depleted. On the other hand, Ling Changkong was still in his peak condition, and his attacks were not weak. Roar roar! This state of complete truth explosion is too powerful. Master, leave quickly. Even if I die here, I must stop him. The golden fur lion king's expression was abnormally solemn. He already felt that he could not hold on any longer. The golden fur lion king had already prepared for the worst. Even if he died here, he would do his best to delay Ling Changkong and buy more time for Qin Feng's master. As long as Ling Changkong's state of complete truth explosion disappeared, Qin Feng would be saved. Haha, wanna leave? Not a chance. Ling Changkong sneered. His long sword slashed down once again. This time, he used the power of 10 constellations and smashed towards the golden fur lion king at the same time. Qin Feng was suffocated by the violent sword qi, and the speed of the cosmic flying sword was reduced. The golden fur lion king was in the center of the sword qi attack, and his speed was also affected. Even though he tried his best to dodge, he was still hit by the sword. Bang bang bang. A violent explosion spread out from the golden fur lion king's body. He fell from the sky, and once again smashed a deep pit on the ground. Ling Changkong did not give the golden fur lion king any chance to catch his breath. He jumped down and slashed with his long sword. Crackle! The sky suddenly exploded, and a burst of thunder and lightning could be heard. The purple lightning was as thick as an arm, and it struck towards the top of Ling Changkong's head. Swish! Ling Changkong quickly retracted his sword and changed his position in midair. The purple lightning landed on the ground and exploded a huge pit beside the golden fur lion king. Stinking brat! I was planning to let you live for a while longer. Since you are in such a hurry to die, then I will kill you first. Ling Changkong could tell that Qin Feng's strength was much weaker than the golden fur lion king. Actually, he was puzzled. Wasn't Qin Feng a stage 4 true qi expert? What about the 18 dragons subduing palms? What about the violent true qi? Ling Changkong planned to kill the golden fur lion king first, and then kill Qin Feng. Now he was already in midair, and he slashed his sword towards Qin Feng. Swish! Pink light flashed. Qin Feng exploded all of his true qi, and he flew at lightning speed in the valley. Even though he was in a state of extreme speed, Qin Feng realized that he was still unable to shake off Ling Changkong. This old man's speed had increased by more than 1-fold, and he was actually on par with the speed of the cosmic flying sword. Qin Feng flew in the front, and Ling Changkong chased after him. The long sword in his hand continuously slashed down, and the ground and the surrounding valley rumbled incessantly. Stinking brat! Weren't you very high and mighty? Why do you only know how to run for your life now? Do you think you can escape? Ha ha ha! Ling Changkong finally vented the anger in his heart, and he proudly faced the sky and let out a long roar. Qin Feng was completely forced into a corner. With a wave of his hand, a fiery red cannon appeared on his shoulder. The fire cloud cannon was domineering and mighty, and the mouth of the cannon was engraved with a dragon head. What the hell is this? Ling Changkong followed behind Qin Feng, and he soon discovered the fire cloud cannon. A cannon that can blow you up into pieces. Qin Feng coldly stared at Ling Changkong. This fire cloud cannon was extremely powerful, and when the system introduced it, it added, "Use it with caution." Using it to deal with this old dog, Ling Changkong, was indeed the best choice. Ling Changkong did not know how powerful the fire cloud cannon was. He thought it was just an ordinary cannon made by Chinese technology. This kind of weapon might be useful against martial artists below the true energy stage, but once one reached the true energy stage, the cannon would be useless. Let's not talk about whether the cannon could hit a true energy stage martial artist. And even if it did, it would not be able to kill them. Haha. Qin Feng, oh Qin Feng, are you really a true qi stage martial artist? Are you trying to scare me with a lousy cannon? Do you think I'm scared? Qin Feng did not care about Ling Changkong's mockery. Ha! Don't look down on the fire cloud cannon in my hand. It can kill you with one shot. Haha, even if I give you 3 shots, you won't be able to kill me. Ling Changkong was not bragging. With his current state of quintessential essence eruption, even 5 cannon shots might not be enough to kill him, let alone 3. Oh, aren't you a little too arrogant? Since you're so powerful, do you dare to let me blast you with 1 shot? If I can't kill you, then I won't run away. And you can do whatever you want to me. It had only been half an hour since Ling Changkong unleashed his true energy, so he still had half an hour left to be in peak condition. Ling Changkong was not worried that Qin Feng would play any tricks. Even if Qin Feng acted shamelessly, Ling Changkong could still catch him and beat him up. Alright, I'll show you what true power is. Ling Changkong sneered disdainfully. Qin Feng was amused, but he still aimed the cannon at Ling Changkong with a serious face. You said it yourself. Don't dodge later if you have the guts. After Qin Feng finished speaking, he fired the fire cloud cannon. A huge recoil exploded, and the cosmic flying sword under Qin Feng's feet instantly sped up. Hee hee. Do you think I'll dodge? What a joke. Ling Changkong's face was full of disdain, but the playful smile on his face suddenly froze. As soon as the fire cloud cannon was fired, an incomparably violent aura shot towards him, and the intensity of the explosion made Ling Changkong dumbfounded. Not only was the fire cloud cannon powerful, but its speed was also several times faster than ordinary cannonballs. Ling Changkong could already feel the heat wave coming towards him, and it was an extreme sense of danger that he would be destroyed. His heart was already filled with fear, and he quickly tried to dodge, but he found that he was already surrounded by cannonballs. Rumble! Rumble! There was a huge explosion in the valley plain, as if a bolt of lightning had struck the ground. A huge crater that was tens of meters long appeared on the plain. The crater was so deep that the bottom could not be seen, and white smoke billowed out from it. Ling Changkong was smashed into the deep crater by the fire cloud cannon, and his body was already smashed into pieces. Not even his remains could be found. Swoosh! There was a flash of pink light. Qin Feng arrived at the edge of the crater with the domineering and mighty fire cloud cannon on his shoulder. Qin Feng did not know whether Ling Changkong was dead or alive. If this old man was still alive, Qin Feng would shoot him again without hesitation. Master, are you hurt? The Golden Fur Lion King had already arrived by Qin Feng's side. He was blind, so he did not see the scene when Qin Feng used the fire cloud cannon. However, after the cannon was fired, the violent airflow and the huge movement made the Golden Fur Lion King's heart tremble. I'm fine. That old man is already dead, Qin Feng said. Chapter 1125. Master, what was that explosion just now? How did you kill Ling Changkong? Golden Fur Lion King had too many questions in his mind. He felt that he shouldn't ask his master so many questions, but he couldn't help but ask. Qin Feng had already recalled Golden Fur Lion King into the system. Golden Fur Lion King was seriously injured in this battle, so he needed to recuperate. I killed Ling Changkong with the fire cloud cannon produced by Star Technology. Golden Fur Lion King immediately understood what Qin Feng said. As a product of the Hedonist sovereign system, he naturally understood the other interface products of the system. With Ling Changkong's death, Star Sect was completely ruined. With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng had already arrived at Star Sect from 100 meters away. He stood on the tallest building and looked down at the entire Star Sect. Everyone listen up. Star Sect's great elder and sect leader Ling Changkong died in my hands. From now on, Star Sect no longer exists, and it will be renamed Hero Alliance. If you want to leave, you can leave now. If you want to stay and join Hero Alliance, then you must serve Hero Alliance wholeheartedly. If you find any traitors, you must kill them. Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back, and his long hair fluttered in the wind. His strong true qi was surging, and the dignity of the leader of the martial arts world was unshakable. The hundreds of people from Star Sect were still kneeling on the ground, and no one dared to stand up. Long live Alliance Leader Qin. We are willing to follow Alliance Leader Qin, and serve Hero Alliance wholeheartedly. Everyone shouted in unison, and then they began to kowtow to Qin Feng. Qin Feng looked around, waved his hand and said, "If that's the case, then get up. You guys are more familiar with Star Sect's base than I am. Follow me." Qin Feng was going to rebuild Star Sect into the hero city of the inner hidden sections. This would be the second base of Hero Alliance, and the first base in the outer martial arts world. The 5 people kneeling at the front row were pointed out by Qin Feng, and they hurried to greet him respectfully. "Tell me your names first," Qin Feng said. The 5 of them hurriedly replied. "Alliance Leader Qin, my name is Ling 1. I'm Ling 2. Ling 3. Ling 4. Ling 5. After the 5 of them reported their names, Qin Feng's mouth twitched violently. The elders of the Starlight sect were too childish in naming their disciples. He reckoned that they had only graduated from primary school. Alliance Leader Qin, there are many disciples in the Star Sect, and it is very difficult to name them. Therefore, the disciples with low positions are named with numbers. When their positions are higher, they will be given a nicer name." Ling Yi saw Qin Feng's confusion and immediately took the initiative to explain. Qin Feng glanced at Ling Yi and realized that this brat was rather quick-witted and perceptive. "Now that the Stellar Sect has been destroyed, you guys will change your names to Qin Yi, Qin Air." In general martial arts sects, the disciples' names were the same as the sect leader's surname, and the sect leader's surname might not be his original name. This was a surname passed down from thousands of years of history in Wuxia. It was the surname of the founder of the sect. Now that the Hero Alliance had officially become famous, Qin Feng planned to expand the influence of the Hero Alliance in the martial arts world. He would be the founder, and the disciples who joined the sect would naturally follow Qin Feng's surname. Many thanks to Alliance Master Qin for naming this disciple. From now on, this disciple will be called Qin Yi. Qin Yi was indeed quick-witted. He spoke to please Qin Feng. The other 4 disciples reacted a little slower, but they all expressed their gratitude respectfully. "Qin Yi, I now appoint you as the first-generation elder of the Hero Alliance. From now on, you will be in charge of these disciples," Qin Feng said to Qin Yi. Qin Yi was so scared that his body trembled. He said, overwhelmed by the favor, "Thank you for your trust, Alliance Leader Qin. Don't worry, I will follow you faithfully in the future. If I have any selfishness or betrayal, I'm willing to be torn apart by 5 horses." Qin Feng nodded and said to the other 4, "You guys will be the first-generation protectors. From now on, you will be responsible for the safety of the Hero Alliance." The 4 of them were overwhelmed by the favor and immediately bowed to thank him. After assigning the positions, Qin Feng looked at Qin Yi. "You are a disciple of the Star Sect, so you know this base better than me. I built a base for the Hero Alliance in the secular world of Wuxia. Now I want to build a branch of the Hero Alliance here. Do you have any thoughts?" Qin Feng thought that Qin Yi was smarter. As someone from the inner hidden sects, he had a better understanding of the outer martial arts world and the inner hidden sections. Qin Feng wanted to hear his thoughts. Qin Yi's expression was solemn. He frowned and thought for a moment before saying, "Alliance Leader Qin, the news of Star Sect's destruction will spread out very quickly. By then, the people from the inner hidden sects will come to snatch Star Sect's territory. The inner hidden sect's base is a relic left behind from the ancient times. It has all sorts of natural formations and cultivation resources." Qin Feng listened seriously and nodded occasionally to show his agreement with Qin Yi. According to what Qin Yi said, all the hidden sects would probably gather at the Star Sect tomorrow. Who wouldn't want to fight for territory to expand their sect's power? Your analysis is pretty good. Do you have a solution? Qin Feng went straight to the point. Qin Yi smiled confidently. It seemed like he had thought of a solution. Alliance Leader Qin, your name has spread far and wide. You are the alliance leader of the martial arts world, and the representative of the outer hidden sections. All the outer hidden sects in the outer martial arts world will listen to your orders. I think we can call them over and help you fight against the inner hidden sects. Qin Feng thought about Qin Yi's suggestion carefully. He realized that there were many advantages and developments. The outer martial arts world was divided into the outer hidden sects and the inner hidden sections. Both forces were always at odds with each other. The inner hidden sects always suppressed the outer hidden sects, causing the outer martial arts world's development to be very uncoordinated. This time, Qin Feng had taken the position of the alliance leader, as the leader of the outer hidden sect, the Hero Alliance. This was a good opportunity to reshuffle the outer martial arts world. This plan is feasible. When the time comes, I will arrange for a few elders of the outer hidden sects to stay in the Hero Alliance and develop the Hero Alliance into an allied sect. This way, we will be able to gain a foothold in the inner hidden sects. Qin Feng understood Qin Yi's intention. Qin Yi nodded and said, Alliance leader Qin is indeed very smart. Your martial arts are unparalleled. This is exactly what I was thinking. After Qin Feng and Qin Yi discussed the plan, Qin Feng started to make arrangements. Qin Air, Qin San, Qin Sea. The base of the Starlight Gate has been severely destroyed. Lead the disciples to rebuild the city. I'll give you 3 days. I want to see the new hero city rise from the ground. After Qin Feng gave the order, Qin San and the others immediately went to work. Qin Feng then looked at Qin Wu. Qin Wu, you are in charge of sending invitations to the outer hidden sections. Invite everyone to visit Hero City and have an exchange. Yes, Alliance Leader. Qin Wu also retreated. Alliance Leader Qin, is there anything you want me to do? Qin Yi was the only one left, so he took the initiative to ask. Qin Feng strode forward. Bring me around Starlight Gate first. This is an ancient relic that was left behind. There must be many treasure lands and treasures there. Bring me around. Qin Feng had seen the power of ancient martial arts relics. Previously, he had only found ancient martial arts relics in the capital's Ghost Mountain. The ancient relic where Starlight Gate was located was obviously more powerful. There must be more treasures there. Qin Yi did not dare to neglect Qin Feng's instructions. He had already brought Qin Feng around and instantly became a qualified tour guide. Alliance leader Qin, that's the holy spring pool. The water in the pool comes from underground. I don't know what kind of water it is, but the water in the pool contains spiritual energy. The disciples of Starlight Gate usually drink the water in the pool, so their cultivation speed is much faster. Alliance leader Qin, that mountain is called the Treasure Spiritual Mountain. There are many spiritual herbs and spiritual plants there. Usually, the disciples will go up the mountain to collect spiritual herbs. Then, the sect's alchemists will refine pills and distribute them to everyone for a breakthrough. Qin Yi introduced as they walked. Qin Feng realized that Starlight Gate's base was really a treasure land. Qin Yi brought Qin Feng to the entrance of a cave in the innermost part of the Stellar Gate. Qin Yi's expression was one of excitement. Alliance leader Qin, this is the most mysterious forbidden area in Starlight Gate. It's called the Immortal Ascension Cave. Only the sect's elders can enter the cave to cultivate. I heard a few elders talking about it. The spiritual energy in the Immortal Ascension Cave is abundant. It's 50 times the spiritual energy in the outside world. The cultivation speed is extremely fast. Standing at the entrance of the Immortal Ascension Cave, Qin Feng's eyes lit up. The spiritual energy in the level 1 Blessed Heavenly Cave was only 30 times that of the outside world. The level 2 Blessed Heavenly Cave was 60 times that of the outside world. The Immortal Ascension Cave before him was between the level 1 and level 2 Blessed Heavenly Cave. Recently, Qin Feng had been working hard to build Hero City in the secular world. With the help of Hua Tua and Hua Bei's medicinal herbs, and the spiritual energy in Devil Beast Mountain, the spiritual energy in Hero City was only 30 times that of the outside world. It was at the level of a level 1 Blessed Heavenly Cave. It couldn't even compare to this Immortal Ascension Cave. Qin Feng took the lead and walked into the Immortal Ascension Cave. Qin Yi followed behind him patiently. This was the place where the great elder and sect leader of Starlight Gate used to cultivate. Qin Yi never thought that he would be able to enter this place one day. The cave was deep. The deeper he went, the higher the temperature became. The spiritual energy in the surroundings also became more abundant. When Qin Feng reached the hall of the cave, he could already see where the problem was. No wonder this cave was so rich in spiritual energy. There was a spirit-gathering formation in it. The spirit-gathering formation in the Immortal Ascension Cave was very powerful. It was more than 100 times more powerful than the spirit-gathering formation Qin Feng had set up on a mountain in Hero City. The spirit-gathering formation Qin Feng set up could only last for a few months. However, the formation in the cave had been passed down for hundreds of years. It was still operating slowly. Qin Feng couldn't help but wonder who passed down this ancient relic. This place must have been a sect. According to the age of some of the items in the cave, it was definitely 200 or 300 years old. Could it be that there were really ancient warriors in China 200 or 300 years ago? Such a powerful spirit-gathering formation was enough to prove the power of those ancient warriors. If they were brought up to the current era, they must have been experts above the true energy realm. Many profound questions popped up in Qin Feng's mind. Chapter 11:26. The more Qin Feng thought about it, the more questions he had. However, he could not understand a single one of them. Qin Feng was dumbstruck. This was the first time he had felt such dense spiritual energy. The air around him was tinged with red, the original color of spiritual energy. Even though Qin Yi was standing there without moving, the abundant spiritual energy was automatically flowing towards his body, causing him to have the urge to immediately sit down and cultivate. Qin Yi suppressed the excitement in his heart. He stood behind Qin Feng like an obedient little brother, waiting for Qin Feng's orders. This cave can accommodate 100 people to train at the same time. The spirit-gathering formation inside can also last for 3 years. In the future, arrange for some disciples with potential to come here to train. Try to form an elite team as soon as possible, so that we can build up Hero City's defense first. Qin Feng gave the order. Qin Yi was overjoyed. Qin Yi had been fantasizing about coming to the Immortal Ascension Cave to cultivate. In the end, Qin Feng generously suggested that everyone enter the cave to cultivate. Before this, Qin Yi was afraid of Qin Feng because of his strength. Now he was deeply attracted by Qin Feng's domineering and charismatic personality. Compared to Ling Changkong, Qin Yi was more willing to follow a humane sect leader like Qin Feng. Don't worry, Alliance Leader Qin. I will not disappoint Alliance Leader Qin. Qin Feng nodded and continued to walk into the Immortal Ascension Cave. There was a spirit-gathering formation in the main hall of the cave. However, there was a tunnel south of the hall that led to another small hall. Wow! Alliance Leader Qin, are there so many treasures here? Qin Yi was stunned by the scene in front of him. This 100-square-meter cave was a storage room. It was filled with various spiritual pills, spiritual energy, spirit stones and other cultivation resources. I'll leave these things here for now. Come and get them when you need them in the future. Qin Feng scanned the storage room calmly. There were many orange-grade spiritual weapons in the storage room. There were also a few blue-grade spiritual weapons. Most of the pills were grade 4 spiritual pills and above, and there were close to 10,000 spirit stones. This storage room was enough to make the disciples of the inner hidden order go crazy. However, to Qin Feng, who had a system full of treasures, it was just a pile of rubbish. Qin Yi could no longer remain calm. His gaze landed on the blue-grade spiritual sword, and he could not take his eyes off it. The stellar sect focused on the way of the sword, and all of the sect's disciples used swords as their main weapons. Qin Feng could tell what Qin Yi was thinking with a single glance. With a grab of his hand, the blue-grade spiritual sword fell into his hand. Take it if you like it. Qin Feng tossed the blue-grade treasured sword to Qin Yi, as if he was throwing away trash. Qin Yi grabbed the treasured sword and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. Even if you beat him to death, he would never have thought that Alliance Leader Qin would give away this blue-grade treasured sword. Alliance Leader Qin. This can't be done. My status is low. How can I be worthy of using a blue-grade treasured sword? Qin Yi felt like he was holding a ball of fire as he trembled in fear. Actually, in the inner hidden sects, each sect had thousands of rules, and the division of ranks was extremely serious. That was especially so for ordinary disciples like Qin Yi. Most of the time, he was just a servant who did odd jobs. It was already good enough for him to be able to survive in the sect. He dared not imagine what sort of treasures the elders or sect masters would give him. However, Qin Feng was different. He was the alliance leader of the martial arts circle, and a true Qi stage expert. But he didn't put on any airs at all. This made Qin Yi feel that alliance leader Qin was a little unreal. If I give it to you, just take it. Are you going to go against my will? Qin Feng glared at Qin Yi. Qin Yi immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Qin Feng with tears of gratitude. Alliance leader Qin, it would be great if disciple Qin Yi could follow a sect master like you sooner. Thank you for your gift, sect master Qin. Don't worry, in the future, I will do my best to help sect master Qin make the Hero Alliance flourish. I, Qin Yi, will live and die with the Hero Alliance. Qin Yi's words came from the bottom of his heart. Not long ago, he was respectful because he was afraid of Qin Feng. But now, he was completely convinced by Qin Feng's spirit. Even if Qin Feng threw a soap at him, Qin Yi would catch it without hesitation. Alright, a grown man like you is being so wishy-washy. Get up. Qin Feng was amused by Qin Yi's behavior. Qin Yi stood up and wiped away his tears. Then he grabbed the blue-gray treasured sword. His heart was filled with excitement. After walking around the Immortal Ascension Cave, Qin Feng didn't find any other hidden caves. He returned to the hall where the spirit gathering formation was, and carefully studied it for a while. Qin Yi, go to the storage room, and get me a few hundred spirit stones. Qin Feng ordered Qin Yi after studying it for a while. Qin Yi immediately went to do his job. Qin Feng had already bought the formation flags from the system, and inserted them into the ground. He discovered the secret of this formation. The person who set it up was truly amazing. This was the Earth's core formation of the spirit gathering formation. It could continuously absorb the energy produced by the movement of the Earth's crust, and convert it into spiritual energy for cultivation. Back in Hero City, when Qin Feng set up the small spirit gathering formation for the first time, Little Pig told him that there was a spirit gathering formation as well. There were countless ways to set up a spirit gathering formation. There was the power of the deep sea, the power of the stars, the power of the earth, the power of living beings, and so on. These formations all had the same origin. They all used the energy produced by the movement of the deep sea, the movement of the stars in the sky, the movement of the earth's crust, and the energy released by the breathing of living beings. As long as there was energy, it could be converted into spiritual energy and absorbed into the body to cultivate. This was the essence of the spirit gathering formation, and also the foundation of cultivation. The spirit gathering formation that Qin Feng set up in Hero City was the most common type of spirit gathering formation. It couldn't convert energy. It could only condense the spiritual energy released by the spirit herbs in the herb garden, and the spiritual energy floating in the air from Devil Beast Mountain. It couldn't compare to the Earth's core formation in the Immortal Ascension Cave at all. Qin Feng sighed in his heart again. The expert who created this holy land of cultivation was too powerful. What realm had he reached? Sect leader Qin. The spirit stones are here. Qin Yi used his clothes to wrap more than 100 spirit stones and ran over. Qin Feng asked him to scatter them on the ground. Then he used the destructive fire and imprinted the spirit stones with his true qi. Not long ago, Qin Feng imprinted the spirit stones with his inner qi. Now that he had broken through to stage 1 true qi, he could imprint the spirit stones with his true qi. This way, the formation Qin Feng set up would be stronger and last longer. Qin Yi stood at the side and watched with his mouth agape. As the fire of destruction burned, the temperature of the entire cave rose significantly. Qin Yi had seen many devil cultivators, and he had even seen Ling Changkong's true energy raging fire. However, whether it was the devil qi raging fire or the true energy raging fire, none of them could compare to sect leader Qin's fire seed. Alright, call all the inner disciples in the sect to help me set up the formation. Qin Feng had been busy for a long time, because he planned to add an ordinary spirit gathering formation on top of the Earth's core formation in the cave. The Immortal Ascension Cave was not far from the Treasure Spirit Mountain, and the spiritual energy in the mountain was abundant. After Qin Feng set up the spirit gathering formation, the spiritual energy in the mountain would automatically flow into the Immortal Ascension Cave. Not long after Qin Yi left the cave, he returned with more than 20 disciples. All of them were Stage 9 Inner Qi experts, but none of them were at the peak of Stage 9 Inner Qi. This was because Qin Feng had single-handedly killed all the Stage 9 Inner Qi experts and above. Greetings, Sect Leader Qin, disciples of the Hero Alliance. It was obvious that Qin Yi had told these people to greet Qin Feng before they came. They bowed and greeted Qin Feng in unison. Qin Feng nodded and said, "Everyone, listen to my command and focus on the formation's core." None of the disciples knew anything about formations, so they were confused by Qin Feng's command. However, they were not worried, because they would do whatever Sect Leader Qin told them to do. Qin Feng arranged the array flags and the spirit stones that were imprinted with true qi. He took the lead and shot out a burst of violent true qi. The true qi landed in the eye of the spirit gathering array. The rock wall had already condensed the power of the array. Qin Feng immediately ordered everyone, "All of you unleash your power. Attack the formation flag that I'm attacking." More than 20 Stage 9 Inner Qi experts swung their swords in unison. Their sharp sword qi gathered on the stone wall. However, the stone wall did not crack. It was as if there was an invisible air barrier blocking the stone wall and absorbing everyone's attacks. It was a very strange feeling. Qin Yi and the others were puzzled. However, when they saw Qin Feng's relentless attacks, they did not dare to ask any questions. They attacked the stone wall with all their might. Alright, the spirit gathering formation is complete. Everyone can cultivate again in the future. The spiritual qi in the Celestial Ascension Cave is 60 times denser than the outside world. Qin Feng stopped attacking. He was very satisfied. The cultivation speed in the Celestial Ascension Cave was comparable to the cultivation speed in the Level 2 Blessed Heavenly Cave Pavilion. Moreover, he did not need to spend any hedonist points. The disciples who came to help Qin Feng with the formation were dumbfounded. Their reaction was the same as Qin Yi's. They were all ordinary disciples of the Star Sect, and did not have the opportunity to cultivate in the Celestial Ascension Cave. However, after Sect Leader Qin took over, he immediately gave everyone a great gift. Haha, are you all dumbfounded? Hurry up and thank Sect Leader Qin for his gift. Sect Leader Qin treats everyone like a true friend. In the future, we will also swear to repay Sect Leader Qin's kindness with our lives. Qin Yi was the first to return to his senses. He smiled at everyone. The disciples gradually regained their senses. Their hearts were filled with excitement. They were deeply convinced by Qin Feng's character. Sect Leader Qin is mighty. Long live the Hero Alliance. The disciples cheered excitedly. Qin Feng realized that the disciples of the Stellar Sect were not as sinister and cunning as Ling Chongkong and Ling Baiyu. Now that everyone was properly guided and managed, these people were no different from the disciples of the outer hidden sects in terms of thinking. The spirit gathering formation was completed and could last for half a year. Qin Feng had just broken through to the true energy stage, so he needed to stabilize his current stage. Qin Feng sat in the center of the geocentric formation. This was also the place with the most spiritual qi. Chapter 1127. Master, are you okay? Qin Feng led the Hero Alliance disciples to cultivate in the Immortal Ascension Cave for a whole night. When he walked out of the cave the next day, he saw Shaoli. I'm fine. There's no Star Gate in the outer martial world now. This place has been renamed Hero City. Qin Feng put his arm around Shaoli's shoulder and patted her head to comfort her. From the girl's nervous expression, Qin Feng knew she must have been worried sick last night. After confirming that Qin Feng was fine, Shaoli finally relaxed. Then a look of shock appeared on her face. What? Master destroyed the Star Gate? What about Ling Chongkong? He's a Stage 4 True Qi expert. Shaoli couldn't accept this fact for a while. Qin Feng stayed in the Star Gate alone. It was good enough that he didn't suffer. But he destroyed the Star Gate? Madam Sect Leader, Ling Chongkong, Ling Baiyu, and the others were all killed by Sect Leader Qin. There's no Star Gate now. We've all pledged allegiance to Sect Leader Qin, and are now members of the Hero Alliance. Qin took the initiative to explain to Xiaoli. He could tell that Qin Feng and Xiaoli had a close relationship, since he called Xiaoli Madam Sect Leader. Xiaoli's pretty face blushed, but she was happy. She didn't even care that Qin Feng defeated Ling Chongkong and the others. Sect Leader Qin, the general model of Hero City has been built. Please take a look. At this time, Qin Er and the other two had also rushed over. The three of them had been busy since yesterday afternoon, when they received the order. They had already started the initial reconstruction of the abandoned Starlight Gate. Qin Feng walked out with Xiaoli in his arms, followed by the Hero Alliance disciples. They came to the construction area. The abandoned bricks and tiles had been cleaned and new buildings were being built. Xiaoli, how do you feel? Qin Feng asked Xiaoli. Xiaoli looked left and right and was surprised. Master, isn't this the Hero City you built in Acropolis City? The general architecture feels exactly the same. Qin Feng also noticed this. It seemed that Qin Er and the others had specially sent people to visit Hero City in Acropolis City. Okay, we'll continue to build according to this layout. Qin Feng nodded to Qin Er, satisfied with their performance. The three of them heaved a sigh of relief. This was the first mission that Sect Leader Qin had given them. The three of them were afraid that they would mess it up. The Starlight Gate had been destroyed yesterday afternoon. But this morning, it looked completely new. Even the stone carvings on the gate had changed. The three mighty and domineering words, Hero City, were engraved on it. Qin Wu followed Qin Fen's orders and ran through the world of martial artists the night before. He sent invitations to all the outer hidden sects and a few of the inner hidden sections. Big brother Qin, are you all right? At this moment, a group of people rushed over from afar. Hai Qing was wearing a white dress and looked like a little fairy as she landed beside Qin Feng. Qin Feng patted Hai Qing's head and smiled. Do you think Big Brother Qin is all right? Hai Qing was worried for the whole night. Originally, she planned to come back with Xiaoli to save Qin Feng. However, Xiaoli couldn't wait and left early in the morning. When Hai Qing realized that Xiaoli was missing, she immediately rushed over with a few sisters from the sect. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Qin Feng and Hai Qing acted very intimately. Hai Qing was a little embarrassed. She turned her body and held Qin Feng's other arm. Then, she lowered her head and followed Qin Feng obediently. Jade Lady Mountain Sea Phoenix greets Alliance Master Qin. Brother Qin Feng, what happened here? Ling Chongkong and those old men didn't do anything to you, right? When Yiming had also rushed over. The elders of the 5 sects of Wuxia had all arrived. Many people from the big and small sects of the outer hidden sects had also arrived. Everyone had received Qin Wu's invitation on their way back. They immediately turned their horses around and killed their way back. Some people had already returned to their sections. However, after receiving Alliance Master Qin's invitation, they also rushed back to the Starlight Gate. There were hundreds of people gathered outside Hero City. They were the people who had gathered here yesterday. Everyone looked at Qin Feng with a puzzled expression. Then they looked at the 3 big words Hero City, written on the city gate of the Starlight Gate. For a moment, they couldn't figure out what was going on. Qin Feng was not in a hurry to explain to everyone. He was going to wait for everyone to arrive before telling them. This time, the disciples of the Starlight Gate didn't dare to show off. Previously, Ling Chongkong had shut out the entire outer hidden sections. This time, Qin led the disciples to properly welcome the guests who had come from afar. Everyone realized that the situation had changed. The Starlight Gate didn't seem to be the Starlight Gate anymore. The detestable Ling Chongkong and Ling Baiyu were nowhere to be seen. It seemed like Qin Feng was the leader of this place. Everyone sat around the table in the courtyard. Good wine and good food were served to everyone. Martial Uncle Yuanjun couldn't stand it anymore. He stood up and said, Alliance Master Qin, what's going on? Where's that old man Ling Chongkong? Martial Uncle Yuanjun asked the question that was on everyone's mind. Everyone put down their bowls and chopsticks and stared at Qin Feng. Seeing that almost everyone had arrived, Qin Feng chuckled and said, Everyone, I've gathered everyone here today to announce a very important matter. From today onwards, the Starlight Gate will no longer be a sect in the outer martial world. It will be replaced by the Hero Alliance. I've also transformed this base into Hero City. Qin Feng's words caused an uproar in the surroundings. Cheers and screams filled the air. Fuck. Alliance Master Qin, is that true? Do you have to be so fierce to destroy the Starlight Gate all by yourself? Alliance Master Qin, you're amazing. On the way back last night, I was worried about Alliance Master Qin's safety. I wanted to kill my way back to help Alliance Master Qin several times. But I didn't expect Alliance Master Qin's strength to be so overwhelming. You destroyed Ling Chongkong and the others all by yourself. Wudong Great Elder Zhang Tian exclaimed. Everyone had a look of disbelief on their faces. Even though they had witnessed the Starlight Gate being renamed Hero City with their own eyes, they still felt like they were dreaming. Yesterday afternoon, Qin Feng was the only one who stayed. Ling Chongkong of the Starlight Gate had unfathomable strength, and he had 8 Stage 9 Inner Qi Grand Elders with him. Ling Baiyu was also a great expert, who had stepped into the true energy stage. Not only was Qin Feng safe from such a powerful lineup, but he even destroyed the Starlight Gate? Qin Feng did not care about everyone's reaction. Now that he thought about it, even Qin Feng himself found it hard to believe. The battle at that time was extremely dangerous. Ling Chongkong was almost invincible after the true energy explosion. Fortunately, the fire cloud cannon was extremely powerful. Otherwise, how could he have killed Ling Chongkong? Qin Feng caused a commotion for a while. When the surroundings gradually returned to silence, Qin Feng pressed his hand down and continued. I believe everyone here knows that I've also built a base for the Hero Alliance in the secular world. This time, I've rebuilt the Starlight Gate into Hero City, because I plan to build a branch base for the Hero Alliance in the Outer Martial World. This Hero City of the Outer Martial World is completely open to the Outer Hidden Sections. As long as you're a disciple of the Outer Hidden Sects, you can enter the city to have a drink and chat when you come here in the future. Of course, you can also come here to spar with the disciples of my sect. You can also cultivate here. As long as you're willing to become an ally of the Hero Alliance, you can enter the city gate to have a drink and have a chat. Of course, you can also come and learn from the disciples of my sect or cultivate here. As long as you're willing to become an ally of the Hero Alliance, you'll receive a 20% discount when you purchase items from the Saint Medic Hall and the Divine Armament Hall. Alliance Leader Qin, monks don't lie. Please don't lie to us. We monks are the kindest and purest people. It's very easy for us to be deceived. Shaolin Temple's martial uncle Yuan Zhen put his palms together and looked at Qin Feng with a pious expression. He looked like an ignorant little girl. The crowd was amused by the old monk Yuan Zhen's shamelessness. Qin Feng smiled and said, Monk Yuan Zhen, I Qin Feng am a man of my word. Does the Shaolin Temple want to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance? Martial uncle Yuan Zhen was so excited that he almost cried. He had fought with Qin Feng once during the martial world crisis, and he was afraid that Qin Feng would remember it. However, judging from the situation over the past few days, Qin Feng was truly broad-minded. Alliance Leader Qin, on behalf of the Shaolin Temple, Yuan Zhen is willing to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance. From now on, our 2 sects will be allies. If the Hero Alliance needs anything from the Shaolin Temple, just say the word. Alliance Leader Qin. The 5 sects of China and the other outer hidden sects could not remain calm when they saw that the Shaolin Temple had allied themselves with the great Qin Feng so easily. Alliance Leader Qin, I can form an alliance with the Hero Alliance on behalf of the Wudong sect. In the future, the Wudong sect will be the little brother, and the Hero Alliance will be the big brother. The Wudong Grand Elder, Zhang Tiandao, looked at Qin Feng with a smile. Alright, then the Hero Alliance now has 2 allies, the Wudong sect and the Shaolin Temple. In the future, all the sects that form an alliance with the Hero Alliance will be considered as allies. Let's all help each other. Qin Feng planned to rope in all the outer hidden sections. He had discussed this idea with Qin Yi yesterday. The elders of the outer hidden sects were so excited that they wanted to jump up and down. They were worried that the outer hidden sects were lagging behind and were led by the nose by the inner hidden sections. This time, The alliance of the Outer Hidden Sects was led by the Martial World Alliance leader Qin Feng. It was hard not to think about it. Big brother Qin, on behalf of the Jade Lady Mountain, I want to form an alliance with you. Ah, no, it's an alliance. Hai Qing was so excited that she said something wrong. Everyone burst out laughing. Qin Feng subconsciously glanced at Hai Qing's chest and thighs. Hai Qing was so embarrassed that she wanted to dig a hole and hide. Brother Qin Feng, the Snow Mountain sect will naturally form an alliance with you, Wen Yiming said with a hearty smile. Now not only the Outer Hidden Sects joined the Hero Alliance, but even the Inner Hidden Sects joined the alliance. Everyone started to fight to join the Hero Alliance. The scene was as crazy as fighting over tickets on Valentine's Day. Qin Feng handed the matters of the alliance to Qin Wu, and Qin Wu arranged for everyone to register their alliance information. The sects that arrived all went to register their information, but there were still many representatives from other sects, who came one after another. A group of people wearing red capes and riding on black horses galloped over. The muscular man in the lead jumped off his horse at the entrance of Hero City and ran to Qin Feng with a smile. Young Master Qin, you're amazing. I'm representing the 10,000 mountains to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance. Chapter 1128. The last time Zhang Biao returned to the sect from the Devil City, he immediately received the sect master's attention. After knowing that Zhang Biao was Alliance leader Qin's good brother, the Myriad Layer Mountain sect master couldn't wait to give up his position to Zhang Biao. Hehe, young Master Qin, please don't make fun of me. Aren't I basking in your glory and becoming the sect's great elder? I'm the youngest elder in Wanzhong Mountain, and the others are all old men over 50 years old. Zhang Biao was very happy to become the great elder of 10,000 mountains. After chatting for a while, Sect Master Qing Yuan of the Blue Moon Observatory hurried over with a group of disciples. Sect Master Qin Yuan of the Blue Moon Observatory greets Alliance Master Qin. Although Sect Master Qin Yuan was Dongfang Qing Shui's master, she was still a bit fearful in front of Qin Feng. Behind Sect Master Qin Yuan were Dongfang Qing Shui's two senior sisters and genius disciple Chen Hai. Back in Devil City, Chen Hai looked down on Qin Feng and wanted to fight with him for Dongfang Qing Shui. Now that he saw Qin Feng again, Chen Hai was so scared that his legs trembled. Sect Master Qing Yuan, there's no need to be so courteous. Hurry and enter Hero City as a guest. No matter which Sect Master Qing Yuan spoke to, he was very amiable and did not put on any airs as the Alliance Master of the martial arts world. After Sect Master Qing Yuan expressed that he wanted to join the Hero Alliance, they chatted about other things. That's right, Alliance Master Qin. How come I don't see disciple Dongfang Qing Shui? How has she been recently? At the mention of Dongfang Qing Shui, Qin Feng felt an indescribable pain in his heart. After returning to the capital last time, Dongfang Ming Wang had forced Qin Feng into a marriage, and he had left without saying goodbye. Thinking about it now, Qin Feng felt a bit guilty. Dongfang Qing Shui was such a proud and pampered daughter of a rich family, and she must be feeling very bad after having her marriage annulled, right? Sect Master Qing Yuan, Dongfang Qing Shui is in the capital. She's not suitable for the outer martial arts world, so let her stay in the capital quietly. Qin Feng sighed slightly. Sect Master Qing Yuan seemed to have noticed something, so he kept his mouth shut and did not mention Dongfang Qing Shui again. More and more people gathered in Hero City. All the representatives of the outer hidden sects were here. There were also many small sects from the inner hidden sections. Although these sects were part of the inner hidden sects, their status was low in the entire inner hidden sections. Their treatment was similar to that of the outer hidden sections. They had their eyes on this opportunity and came to seek refuge with Alliance Master Qin. The sects that were supposed to be here had all arrived. However, at this moment, a beautiful figure flew over. Seeing who it was, everyone cried out in alarm. Many of the elders of the outer hidden sects were on high alert, as if they were in danger. Alliance leader Qin, Ice Lake Mountain's Thousand Illusions child is here. This woman is very arrogant. I'm afraid she's here to cause trouble. Humph. If it was in the past, I would still be wary of Ice Lake Mountain. But now that I've joined the Great Alliance, Ice Lake Mountain is nothing. Everyone get ready. If this old lady dares to mess around, we won't be polite to her. Thousand Illusion Child landed on the ground and stood outside Hero City with a cold expression. She was the only one who came. Qin Feng saw Thousand Illusion Child long ago. He couldn't tell her age. Her face was beautiful and her skin was as tender as an 18-year-old girl. When he saw her, he couldn't help but remember the wild battle at the Chuanzhong restaurant in Demon City. Old lover, why are you here? Don't tell me your body is unwell after not seeing each other for a long time? Qin Feng flew and landed in front of Thousand Illusion Child. This woman wanted to kill Qin Feng and kidnap Dongfang Qing Shui. So Qin Feng didn't need to be polite to her. A trace of coldness appeared on Thousand Illusion Child's delicate and flawless face, but it quickly disappeared. She said expressionlessly, Alliance Leader Qin, you're so impressive now. No matter what, I'm still your woman. You won't abandon me, right? Qin Feng sized up Thousand Illusion Child. He didn't know what this woman was playing at. He pretended to be calm and said, Oh, old lover, why should I care about you? Why don't you stay by my side and serve me every night? Thousand Illusion Child's expression changed again. She was so angry that she was about to bleed. However, she had strong willpower and didn't lose her temper. Alliance Leader Qin, I'm representing Ice Lake Mountain to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance. We're on the same side, and both sects should become a family, right? Qin Feng didn't find it strange if other people came to the alliance, but this old woman was suspicious. Qin Feng raped Thousand Illusion Child at the Chuanzhong restaurant and realized it was the first time this woman had done it. She was a proud and complacent woman who valued her chastity more than her life. She hated him to death, so why would she come to the alliance out of kindness? Really? Of course. I'm happy that my old lover can see through it. Then go and register. Don't leave tonight. Come to my room and rekindle old flame. Qin Feng didn't expose Thousand Illusion Child. If this woman wanted to play tricks, Qin Feng would play along. Thousand Illusion Child sneered. She glanced sideways at Qin Feng and walked away. Qin Feng put aside Elder Thousand Illusion Child and started to greet the guests who had come from afar. Most of these people were elders of the outer hidden sects. Everyone was actually very curious about the inner hidden sects. This was their first time entering the inner hidden sects. Everyone, I'll take you to visit Hero City now. This base was originally the Starlight Sect's base. It was remodeled from an ancient ruin. There are many caves and formations left behind in the base. I'm sure everyone will be interested. Qin Feng's words stirred up the crowd. Everyone wanted to visit the base. Qin Feng walked around Hero City with Qin Yi yesterday. Now that he was completely familiar with the place, he took everyone to visit the Holy Spring Pond and the Ethereal Mountain. Just these two ancient ruins were enough to stun everyone. When Qin Feng took everyone into the Immortal Ascension Cave, everyone was so shocked that their eyeballs fell to the ground. Holy shit! Alliance Leader Qin, the spiritual energy in this cave is really abundant. This is the first time in my life that I've seen such a treasured place with so much spiritual energy in the land of China. It's even better than the Heaven Ascension platform of our Shaolin Temple. This is incredible. If we can cultivate here for a year, we will definitely break through to the true energy stage. No wonder the inner hidden sects are so powerful. We lost at the starting line. Wudong Grand Elder Zhang Tiandao exclaimed. Everyone was shocked by the spiritual energy in the Immortal Ascension Cave. Qin Feng smiled and said, Everyone, this Immortal Ascension Cave is protected by a geocentric formation. This formation can convert the energy produced by the movement of the Earth's crust into spiritual energy. Last night, I've superimposed a spiritual energy gathering formation. Right now, the density of spiritual energy in the Immortal Ascension Cave is 60 times that of the outside world. After Qin Feng finished explaining the situation in the Immortal Ascension Cave, the crowd was in an uproar. Many of them sat on the ground and started to cultivate. It seemed like they would rather die than leave. Qian Huan Child also followed the crowd in to take a look. Her cold, beautiful eyes were shining. Ice Lake Mountain was also one of the 5 hidden hegemons. Their sect's sacred ground also had a sacred ground for cultivating array formations. However, it was still lacking compared to this immortal ascension cave. My old sweetheart, are you moved? Then stay here and cultivate. When I'm free, I'll come and dual cultivate with you. Qin Feng secretly observed Elder Qian Huantong's reaction from time to time. His words angered the old woman so much that she almost hit him. Okay, then I'll stay here. When the time comes, I'll bring some disciples from Ice Lake Mountain here. You want to dual cultivate? Sure, there are so many men here. Aren't you afraid that my body will be seen by others? I can strip now. When you're not here anymore, I'll dual cultivate with everyone. Elder Qian Huantong had always been arrogant. She rarely spoke, but now she started to bicker with Qin Feng. After being raped by Qin Feng, Elder Qian Huantong hated Qin Feng. Suddenly, she found a way to take revenge on Qin Feng. If she allowed other men to play with her, wouldn't Qin Feng die of anger? Ahem. Don't mess around. Otherwise, I'll cancel Ice Lake Mountain's quota, and you won't be able to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance. Qin Feng choked. Although he didn't have any feelings for Elder Qian Huantong, this woman was related to him. If she messed around with others in public, Qin Feng wouldn't be able to accept it. Seeing that her plan worked, Elder Qian Huantong felt refreshed. It's my business whether I come or not. My body is mine, not yours. Be careful in the future. Who knows if I'll cheat on you one day. Elder Qian Huantong continued to provoke Qin Feng. She was actually very conservative, but she purposely said that. Qin Feng pursed his lips and ignored the old woman. Then, he led everyone around and returned to the big courtyard where they had their meal. Alliance leader Qin, that immortal ascension cave is really a good place. Can we go there to cultivate in the future? Although everyone was eating in the courtyard, their hearts were still in the immortal ascension cave. The immortal ascension cave's spiritual energy was 60 times that of the outside world. To these martial cultivators, it was like the fatal attraction of a beautiful woman to a loser. However, everyone was very uncertain in their hearts. Such a good cultivation holy land was usually a restricted area of the sect. Only the elders of the sect had the qualifications to enter. Even ordinary disciples couldn't enter. So how could it be open to outsiders from other sects? Of course, Qin Feng said with a smile. His words stunned everyone present. The surroundings fell into a dead silence. Even the sound of a pin dropping could be heard. Everyone looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. They even wondered if there was something wrong with their ears. Alliance leader Qin, what did you just say? We can go to the immortal ascension cave to cultivate? Really? Alliance leader Qin must be joking. That immortal ascension cave is a rare heavenly blessing cave. How can anyone enter it so easily? Alliance leader Qin is really a saint. His broad-mindedness is admirable. If all the martial cultivators in China had the same level of thinking as Alliance leader Qin, China's martial cultivators would definitely flourish. Then, America's mutants, South Africa's biowarriors, and other countries' secret forces would be suppressed to the point where they wouldn't even dare to let out a fart. The world was big, and there were many extraordinary people. China had mysterious ancient martial arts cultivators, and other countries also had their own secret forces. Just like the Dracula prince who destroyed the base of America's William mutant family. Chapter 1129. Qin Feng waved his hand, and everyone quietened down immediately. Don't worry, everyone. Since Hero City is open to the public, everything inside will be open to the public as well. However, everyone has visited the Immortal Ascension Cave. It can only accommodate 100 people to cultivate at the same time. In order to let everyone take turns to cultivate in the Immortal Ascension Cave, I will propose a cultivation system that requires everyone to provide some resources to enter. Everyone understood what Qin Feng meant. In the future, when they entered the Immortal Ascension Cave, they might have to use spiritual weapons, elixirs, spiritual stones, and other materials related to martial cultivation in exchange for cultivation time. No one objected to this at all. The Immortal Ascension Cave was a cultivation holy land that could only be found by luck. Everyone was already grateful that Qin Feng was open to the public. Even if Qin Feng didn't propose to collect fees, everyone would have proposed it. Sect leader Qin, they're here. Just as everyone was chatting happily, Qini walked in with a serious expression. The others didn't really understand the they Qini mentioned, but Qin Feng knew that the vampires of the inner hidden sects were here. How many sects are here? Qin Feng asked calmly. Sect leader Qin, the other two of the inner hidden sects have gathered outside Hero City, with over 20 inner hidden sects. There were originally 5 inner hidden sections, one of them, Stellar Sect, had been annihilated by Qin Feng. Of the remaining 4, the representatives of Snow Mountain Sect and Ice Lake Sect had come to join the Hero Alliance. Now it was Serenity and Immortal Cloud Sect, who had brought a group of inner hidden sect disciples. Everyone understood now. The people who were originally fearful of the inner hidden sects were all eager to go out and fight now that they had Qin Feng's support. Qin Feng had already led the way out of the city gate. His purple lightning robe fluttered in the wind. Behind him were over 100 martial arts sects disciples, and over 100 stellar sects disciples. It was an extremely majestic scene. Humph! You juniors, how dare you block my way? Do you know who I am? Immortal Cloud Sect's Elder Yun Xiao. Hurry up and welcome me in. Outside Hero City, the Immortal Cloud Sect's elder stood at the entrance and cursed. Qin Air, Qin San, and Qin Si led a group of stellar sect's disciples to guard the entrance and ignored Yun Xiao. Before they followed sect leader Qin, they would definitely welcome Yun Xiao warmly whenever they saw him. But now things were different. Someone like Yun Xiao was no longer worthy of their attention. Yun, this isn't Starlight Sect anymore. This is the sacred land of the Hero Alliance. You should leave right now. Otherwise, the Hero Alliance won't go easy on you. Qin Air shouted at Yun Xiao. Yun Xiao and the others from the inner hidden sects had just found out that Qin Feng had destroyed Star Sect. Thus, they had rushed over to snatch the relics of Star Sect. However, no one knew that the Stellar Gate had already been occupied by Qin Feng. Moreover, he had even changed the name of the stone carving on the gate overnight. This speed made Yun Xiao and the others speechless. Scoundrel! You are just an ordinary disciple, and you dare to shout at my Immortal Cloud Sect's elder? I think you must be tired of living. Beside Yun Xiao, a handsome young man stood with his hands behind his back. This man was Yin Chen. During the martial arts circle convention, he teamed up with Ling Fei to defeat Qin Feng. In the end, he was slapped off the arena by Qin Feng. Facing Yin Chen's reprimand, Qin Air and the others were infuriated. They were indeed ordinary disciples of Star Sect. The treatment they received was to be suppressed and reprimanded by the other elders. But now that they had followed sect leader Qin, they were put in an important position. There was no such strict hierarchy. This kind of sect was what everyone wanted. They couldn't allow others to destroy it. I think you are the ones courting death. Since you don't want to leave, then don't leave. Qin Air roared and swung his sword at Yun Chen. Qin San, Qin Si, and Qin Wu followed him. The 4 of them were at the early stage of Stage 9 Inner Qi. Bang! Before the sword energy arrived, Yun Chen's palm attack arrived. As an expert at the middle stage of Stage 9 Inner Qi, he didn't take Qin Air and the others seriously. Rumble! With a palm attack, Qin Air was sent flying backward. The remaining 3 arrived at Yun Chen's side. Elder Yun Xiao, who was at the peak of Stage 9 Inner Qi, looked at them with contempt. He suddenly clapped his hands and said, "A bunch of trash. See how your father will torture you." Rumble! A loud sound rang out. The berserk aura of a Stage 9 Inner Qi surged out. How could Qin San and the others resist such a fierce attack? The 3 of them fell at the entrance of Hero City like kites with their strings cut. Brothers, let's attack together. As long as the sword lives, we live. If the sword dies, we die. The 30 or so disciples guarding the entrance were enraged. They didn't care how powerful Yun Xiao was. In an instant, they formed a sword formation and rushed at Yun Xiao. Swoosh! But at this time a pink light flashed. Before the disciples could run to Yun Xiao's side, a person was already standing in front of them. Qin Feng stood with his hands clasped behind his back. No one had seen how he had appeared. Yin Xiao and Yun Chen, who were originally brimming with arrogance, suddenly had a huge change in their expressions. Qin Feng had stepped into the first stage of true qi. His entire body's true qi burst out in all directions, instantly suppressing the two of them to the point where they couldn't even speak. I heard someone came to Hero City to cause trouble? So it's you, you little dog. I spared your life in Devil City. Looks like you don't have a good memory. Qin Feng recognized Yin Chen. Just as he finished speaking, a pink light flashed. No one saw clearly what happened. All they saw was Yin Chen's body falling to the ground. After a few seconds, his body was covered with blood. That scene was extremely strange, scaring everyone to the point that their hearts went numb. Chena, what happened to you? Quickly get up. Yun Xiao was standing beside Yun Chen, but even he didn't know what just happened. Yun Xiao squatted down and sensed Yun Chen's aura. He discovered that Yun Chen was really dead. It's you? It's you, right? You dared to kill my immortal cloud sect's disciple. You're finished. Yun Xiao pointed at Qin Feng. He was so angry that his eyeballs were about to pop out. The rest of the people from the inner hidden sect still hadn't completely recovered from the shock. Until now, they still didn't understand the situation. At this moment, they didn't make a sound and quietly observed the situation. Sect Master Qin, the Hero Alliance's disciples, finally recovered from the shock. When they saw Qin Feng, it was as though they saw their savior. How dare you say such harsh words in front of Alliance Master Qin? Quickly kowtow and admit your mistake. Otherwise, my Hero Alliance's disciples won't let you off. The group of disciples behind Qin Feng glared at Yun Xiao. Qin Feng acted as though he didn't see the old man. His gaze landed on Qin Er and the other three who just walked over. Are you guys alright? Qin Er and the other three were beaten to a sorry state. They were worried that they would be reprimanded by Sect Master Qin, but they didn't expect Sect Master Qin to show concern. The four of them instantly felt warmth in their hearts. It was as though the injuries on their bodies didn't hurt anymore. This was the huge difference between Sect Master Qin and Sect Master Ling Changkong. Everyone felt extremely fortunate to be able to follow a Sect Master like Qin Feng. Sect Master Qin, we're useless. We've embarrassed ourselves in front of you. Qin Er and the other three bowed to Qin Feng. When Qin Feng saw that the four of them weren't severely injured, he looked at Yun Xiao. You're from the Immortal Cloud Sect. As one of the inner hidden 5 hegemons, the Immortal Cloud Sect's reputation spread far and wide. Yun Xiao knew that Qin Feng was the Alliance Master of the Martial Arts Circle. However, which of the inner hidden 5 hegemons took the Alliance Master of the Martial Arts Circle seriously? At least you know what's good for you. Since you know that I have a large sect behind me, why aren't you inviting us in? This is the Starlight Sect's base, and there's no one to take care of it now. I've come under the orders of the Sect Master to take over this place. Yun Xiao was also dumbfounded in the sect. He had no idea about the turbulent times in the outer martial arts circle. When they heard Yun Xiao's arrogant words, the Hero Alliance disciples and the outer hidden sects that rushed over weren't angry at all. Instead, they looked at Yun Xiao in amusement. Everyone knew that this old man was going to be in trouble soon. Oh, did your sect master really say that? Qin Feng looked at Yun Xiao as though he was looking at an idiot. Yun Xiao revealed a smug expression. He thought that Qin Feng was afraid of their sect master. Nonsense. Of course, it's the sect master who personally ordered it. If you want to be the Alliance Master of the Martial Arts Circle in peace, then listen to our sect master obediently. Otherwise, Qin Feng picked his ears. He realized that this old man Yun Xiao really had a lot of nonsense to say. He raised his hand, and Yun Xiao was sent flying before he could finish his words. Since your sect master said it, then let that bastard come and say it to me personally. Who the fuck do you think you are? Just as Qin Feng finished speaking, Yun Xiao landed on the ground and created a huge pit on the ground. A wave of exclamations arose in the surroundings. Everyone was shocked by Qin Feng's strength. Yun Xiao was considered a famous person in the inner hidden sections. He was an expert at the peak of Stage 9 inner Qi, but he couldn't even withstand one move from Qin Feng? The Immortal Cloud sect disciples who came along this time stared at each other. Their elder was beaten, and their eldest senior brother was killed. Logically speaking, they should fight Qin Feng to the death. However, after being stunned for a while, no one dared to step forward. They had long been suppressed by Qin Feng's strength to the point that they had no temper. The Immortal Cloud sect idiot came here to snatch my hero alliance. Then why are you here, my friends from the inner hidden sects? After Qin Feng sent Yun Xiao flying, he didn't even bother to look at him. He looked around the crowd with a faint smile on his face. The people in front of him were all disciples of the inner hidden sections. In the past, they were all high and mighty, and were the elites of the outer martial arts circle. At this moment, they didn't even dare to look at Qin Feng in the eyes. Wherever Qin Feng looked, the crowd would immediately lower their heads. The unpopular sect master Zhuhan is here. Alliance Master Qin, you are so impressive. A person suddenly jumped out from the silent crowd. He wore a long white robe, and looked to be in his 40s. He emitted a cold aura, and the people around him were so cold that they had to circulate their inner qi to warm themselves up. Qin Feng didn't understand the power of the inner hidden sections. He didn't expect that even the Immortal Cloud sect would be frightened. Was there still a sect that dared to jump out? Chapter 1130. Qin Feng finally understood. This unpopular sect leader, Zhuhan, was planning to use his head as a stepping stone. Even Qin Feng admired this guy's courage. Unpopular Zhuhan, right? I've already occupied this place, and built it into the Hero Alliance's base. It has nothing to do with you, Qin Feng said with an unquestionable tone. Unpopular Zhuhan glared at Qin Feng, and his body exploded with true qi. As the leader of the inner hidden sect, Zhuhan was not someone who did nothing. Heh, you want to occupy this place just because you say so? Don't think you're so great, just because you're the new martial arts alliance master. You might be useful in front of those weaklings from the outer hidden sects. But in the inner hidden sects, who do you think you are? The inner hidden sects have long surpassed the existence of the outer martial arts world. Even the martial arts alliance master cannot control us. Zhuhan's tone was extremely arrogant. He did not even respect the martial arts alliance master. The people from the inner hidden sects did not say anything. It was as if they silently agreed with Zhuhan's argument. Old man, how dare you be rude to Alliance Master Qin? How dare you look down on us outer hidden sects? This poor monk would like to see how capable you are. Shaolin Temple's martial uncle Yuan Zhen was enraged. He leaped up and flew towards Zhuhan. Wudong Grand Elder Zhang Tiandao, Kunlun Grand Master Zhu Qing, Amei Sect's Priestess Heartless, and Hua Mountain Grand Elder. These 5 people represented the 5 strongest sects of the outer hidden sections. They had already joined hands to attack. Rumble! A loud sound exploded in midair. These 5 people had different levels of strength. They ranged from stage 8 inner qi to the middle stage of stage 9 inner qi. However, none of them were at the later stage, or peak stage of stage 9 inner qi. This was also the huge difference between the outer hidden sects and the inner hidden sections. 5 trash that have not even reached the peak of stage 9 inner qi. How dare you challenge my dignity? Zhuhan glanced at the 5 people disdainfully. It was as if he could not see the 5 people's attacks. When the 5 auras were inches away, Zhuhan quickly sent out a palm strike. With an earth-shattering aura, he instantly blocked the 5 people's attacks. Rumble! A loud sound. Zhang Tiandao and the other 4 people were all hit and scattered outside of Hero City. Zhuhan did not plan to stop. He flew out and sent a palm strike towards Qin Feng. Little trash, let me see what you are capable of. How dare you be the leader of Wulin? Zhuhan did not know Qin Feng's true strength. He thought that Qin Feng was only at the peak of the inner 9 realm, and at most, he would only be at stage 1 true qi. Zhuhan did not put this kind of opponent in his eyes at all. He was now an expert at stage 2 true qi. Rumble! Before the palm arrived, the violent palm wind had already caused the air to explode. The strength of a true energy stage expert was extraordinary. Compared to an inner energy stage expert, they were more than twice as strong. There were quite a number of Stage 9 inner Qi experts present, and some of them were even at the peak of Stage 9 inner Qi. Yet, under Zhuahan's palm strike, they were unable to breathe. Alliance leader Qin, be careful. Holy shit. Are all the members of the inner hidden sects so arrogant? Another true Qi stage expert. I reckon he's already at the second layer of true Qi. That brat Qin Feng is dead for sure. Isn't he just the alliance leader of the martial arts circle? He really thinks so highly of himself. When he dies, we'll have to choose a new alliance leader from the inner hidden order. Even before Qin Feng was sent flying, the surroundings were already filled with discussions. The members of the outer hidden sects were all worried about Qin Feng, but the members of the inner hidden sects seemed to have already seen the scene of Qin Feng exploding from a single palm strike. Even though Xiao Li and Hai Qing knew that Qin Feng was very strong, they still clenched their fists nervously. Swish! A pink light flashed. No one saw clearly what happened. Qin Feng, who was standing at the same spot and was about to be hit, suddenly disappeared. The atmosphere instantly became strange. Zhuahan's entire body was covered in cold sweat. His palm strike missed and blasted a deep pit into the ground. However, an extremely dangerous aura came from behind him. Rumble. It was as if thunder and a tiger's roar resounded. Just as Zhuahan's attack landed, Qin Feng's special-grade Thunder Tiger fist smashed towards him. The wind from the fist surged and instantly landed on Zhuahan's back. Zhuahan did not even have the chance to dodge, and fell head first into the deep pit that he created. This was a typical example of digging a hole for oneself. Bang bang bang. After he landed, the deep pit continued to rumble. Everyone could feel the ground beneath their feet shaking violently. Qin Feng had only thrown one punch, but he had exploded with the power of a true Qi stage cultivator. Judging from the way Zhuahan was beaten, this Qin Feng was at least at the second stage of true Qi. Such a young true Qi stage cultivator had shocked the entire inner hidden sects. The surrounding people began to discuss again, but the voices were completely different from before. The members of the inner hidden sects went from disdain and ridicule to shock and fear. Qin Feng ignored everyone's discussion. Only he knew his own realm the best. He had only broken through to the first stage of true Qi not too long ago. It was only because Qin Feng used various skills and spiritual weapons that he could be said to be invincible among those who were at the second stage of true Qi and below. Rumble. Halfway through the discussion, a muffled sound suddenly came from the deep pit. A white figure shot into the sky. In midair, Zhuahan's clothes were tattered, his hair was unkempt and his eyes were bloodshot. With an angry roar, he dove towards Qin Feng. Stinking brat. I will take your worthless life today. Bang bang bang. He struck out with his palm, but dozens of ice spikes flew towards him. This was due to the sex cultivation method. Most of the disciples had a cold-ing constitution. Zhuahan cultivated a body full of cold air. When he released his true Qi, his body would be covered with a layer of cold air. At this moment, his true Qi had taken the form of extremely cold ice spikes. This was the same principle as the raging true Qi flames, except that Zhuahan mainly cultivated true Qi ice techniques. Once the true Qi ice appeared, the surrounding temperature plummeted instantly. Martial artists who were stage 8 inner Qi and above could barely maintain their body temperature by circulating their inner Qi. As for those martial artists who were below stage 6 inner Qi, they could only shiver passively, and a thin layer of ice formed on the surface of their skin. Qin Feng, who was standing in the center of the attack, was the one who felt the coldness the most. The ice seemed to have come from underground, and it could freeze and shatter a person's internal organs. Rumble. Without any time to think, Qin Feng struck out with both of his palms. Multiple fireballs shot into the sky and instantly raised the temperature back to normal. The ice and fire collided in midair. The layer of air seemed to be separated. One side was a sea of fire, and the other was ice. It was a very strong visual effect. You want to use the raging true Qi flames to deal with my true Qi ice? You are so naive. My unpopular sect specializes in cold-ing attribute techniques. The ice I transform is a grade higher. How can it be used by trash like you? Zhuhan looked like he was waiting for Qin Feng to use the raging true qi flames to break his attack. He laughed without restraint. However, his smile suddenly froze on his face and turned into a look of disbelief and fear. Rumble! The destructive fire was not the raging true qi flames. This was the thousand-beast true fire of a higher grade. The fire was fierce, and it seemed impossible to extinguish. The true qi ice melted the moment it came into contact with the fire. In a blink of an eye, it was completely swallowed by the destructive fire. In midair, Zhuhan's body was hit by the fireball, and he flew several hundred meters away. When he landed, he created a huge pit. The unpopular disciples were all dumbfounded. Their sect leader was defeated. Chapter 1131. The forces from the inner hidden sects were dumbstruck. They looked at Zhuhan, who was trapped in the huge pit and couldn't get up. They felt like they were dreaming. Actually, the people from the inner hidden sects never took Qin Feng seriously. Even though Qin Feng became the martial arts alliance leader, not many people from the inner hidden sects really paid attention to Qin Feng. According to the skills of the previous martial arts alliance leader, Qin Feng was at most at the peak of the inner nine stage. Therefore, most of the people from the inner hidden sects who came to fight for territory were elders from various sections. Most of them were at the peak of the inner nine stage. They thought this would be enough to intimidate Qin Feng, but when they arrived, they realized this wasn't the case. The atmosphere was strange. After a long silence, no one dared to speak. The people from the inner hidden sects were usually arrogant, but at this moment, they were as obedient as a kitten. Even the unpopular sect leader Zhuhan was beaten by Qin Feng. So how could the elders from other sects dare to clamor? Since everyone is gathered here and no one is talking, then let's go back. Otherwise, we will end up like the unpopular sect leader. Qin Feng single-handedly killed Yun Shen and injured Yun Xiao and Zhuhan, but it was as if nothing had happened. The disciples of the inner hidden sects couldn't come back to their senses. No one expected this martial arts alliance leader to be so powerful. At such a young age, he actually defeated sect leader Zhuhan, who was at Qi Stage 2. After a long time, no one dared to stand out and challenge Qin Feng's authority. Many of the inner hidden sects had already quietly retreated. After witnessing Qin Feng's strength, they had already given up on the idea of fighting for the Starlight Gate's base. Serenity's disciple Hua Xianyu is here. Alliance leader Qin Feng. This base has been taken by our Serenity. More than half of the crowd had dispersed. A fairy-like beautiful figure landed in front of Qin Feng. Seeing that Hua Xianyu had arrived, Qin Feng immediately felt a headache. Then, he immediately looked towards the Serenity disciples, but he didn't see Suru watching. Lady Xianyu, why isn't Ruoro here? There was no one named Ruoro in the Serenity sect, but Hua Xianyu knew Qin Feng was talking about junior sister Wu Xian. Leader Qin, junior sister Wu Xian, has a frost-eaten body that only appears once in 100 years. Her cultivation speed is extremely fast. She is currently in seclusion in the sect, trying to break through to stage 9 inner qi. Even Qin Feng was shocked by Su Ruoro's cultivation speed. This girl had disappeared in the Amethyst Dragon Palace for less than a year. Yet she was about to break through to stage 9 qi. Good. Breaking through to stage 9 inner qi is very dangerous. I'll go with you to Serenity later. I want to protect Ruoro, Qin Feng said. Hua Xianyu raised her eyebrows. Her gentle aura suddenly changed. She looked at Qin Feng coldly. Alliance leader Qin, you are not a disciple of the Serenity, so you can't enter the Serenity. Also, I'm here to take Hero City, so please don't change the topic. Qin Feng looked at Hua Xianyu and smiled helplessly. Lady Xianyu, you are not my opponent. We are friends, so there is no need to fight. I want this Starlight Gate base. I welcome Serenity to form an alliance with the Hero Alliance, but it is not realistic for you to take this base. Qin Feng had deep feelings for Hua Xianyu. They saved each other in Devil Beast Mountain. Moreover, Qin Feng could see that Hua Xianyu didn't have any killing intent towards him. Her cold aura was just an act. Forget about the alliance. I'm here on sect leader Jingxin's order to take over this place. Since that's the case, let's fight. Hua Xianyu suddenly pulled out the soft sword from her waist and stabbed towards Qin Feng. The disciples of the Hero Alliance and the outer hidden sects wanted to help, but Qin Feng waved his hand to stop them. His figure flashed and disappeared. Ah! Alliance leader Qin, don't be rude. Let go of me. Hua Xianyu's sword missed, but her back was suddenly hugged by a strong and wide chest. When she turned around and saw Qin Feng's handsome face, Hua Xianyu's heart was filled with shyness, but she pretended to be angry. Qin Feng smelled the faint fragrance on Hua Xianyu's body, but he didn't let go. Lady Xianyu, you should take your people back. Once I'm done with Hero City, I'll go visit Serenity. If your sect leader Jingxin blames you, I'll personally talk to her. Qin Feng's voice was gentle, and Hua Xianyu couldn't be angry at him. But there were so many people watching, so Hua Xianyu could only pretend to be angry. Let go of me. Serenity and Starlight Gate were originally allies. Now that you have wiped out Starlight Gate, Serenity will naturally settle this with you. Starlight Gate's base will naturally belong to Serenity. Whoever tries to stop us will be the enemy of Serenity. The inner hidden sects all had one goal, and that was to snatch Starlight Gate's base. Among the inner hidden sects, the ones with the most advantage were the 4 inner hidden hegemons. However, 2 of them actually submitted to the Hero Alliance. That Immortal Cloud sect had just been defeated, and now, only the Serenity sect had some hope. But seeing Qin Feng hugging Hua Xianyu and not letting go, and not knowing if he had taken advantage of her, the inner hidden sects were in despair. It seemed like Starlight Gate was really going to belong to Qin Feng. I can let you go, but don't mess with me. Otherwise I will hug you again. Next time, I will hug you from the front. Qin Feng had no other way to deal with Hua Xianyu, so he could only use this shameless method to stun her. Just like in the martial arts circle tournament, Qin Feng didn't want to fight Hai Qing. In the end, he hugged and pinched Hai Qing, forcing her to withdraw from the tournament. Now, Hai Qing had fallen in love with Qin Feng. You shameless hooligan! After Hua Xianyu was released, she stomped her feet in anger. She really didn't know what to do with Qin Feng. She couldn't beat Qin Feng, and was even taken advantage of by him. Lady Xianyu, don't be angry. I just don't want to fight with you. You should take your people and leave. I'll go find you in Ruaro in a few days. Qin Feng smiled brilliantly, making Hua Xianyu unable to get angry. Helpless, Hua Xianyu looked deeply at Qin Feng, turned around, and left with the Serenity disciples. Xianyun's sect was defeated, Serenity left, and the unpopular sect master was tortured into a deep pit, and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The battle for the base seemed to have been decided before it even started. With Qin Feng's powerful strength, no one dared to stand out and shout. The crowd quickly dispersed, and the inner hidden sects scrambled back to where they came from. When the area outside Hero City was empty, the people standing behind Qin Feng still hadn't come back to their senses. Whether it was the Starlight Gate disciples, or the outer hidden sects that came to help, they were all shocked to the depths of their souls. Everyone thought that there would be a fierce battle today, and they were prepared to be sacrificed at any time. In the end, before they could do anything, Alliance Master Qin had already settled everything. Fuck. Is all of this real? Alliance Master Qin scared off the entire inner hidden sects? Martial Uncle Yuan Zhen was dumbstruck. He, Zhang Tiandao, and the others were injured by Zuohan, but after seeing the current outcome, he completely forgot about his own injuries. Alliance Master Qin, this time, Hero City really belongs to you. In the future, this will be the joint base of the outer hidden sections. Just thinking about it makes me excited. Brother Qin Feng, I have to say some words of advice. This time, you have offended the entire inner hidden sections. Don't underestimate the inner hidden sections. This time, only a few elders came, and each of the inner hidden sects has true Qi realm experts. Just like how the unpopular sect master is at the 2nd level of true Qi, there are many old monsters in the Xianyun sect. There are many true Qi realm experts in the Xianyun sect, and there is also the Serenity sect's sect master Jing Xian. It is said that his strength is not below Ling Changkong. When Yiming frowned slightly and walked up to analyze the current situation with Qin Feng, the excited crowd calmed down. Most of them were from the outer hidden sects, so they did not understand the specific situation of the inner hidden sections. Now that they heard Wen Yiming's analysis, they started to worry. Naturally, Qin Feng would not underestimate the great powers of the inner hidden sections. For example, Qin Feng was able to annihilate the Starlight sect because of the power of the Golden Fur Lion King and the Flaming Cloud Cannon. Moreover, Ling Changkong had become arrogant and conceited after True Qi explosion, which was why he was shot to death by the Flaming Cloud Cannon. If it was a True Qi realm expert, Qin Feng was not confident that he could hit them in one shot. Thank you for your advice, Brother One. I will not underestimate the power of the inner hidden sects, but I am not afraid of them either. Right now, Hero City is the joint base of the outer hidden sections. If we want to develop and grow in the future, it is not something that I can do alone. I will need the combined efforts of all the sects here. As long as everyone works together, the inner hidden sects will not be able to bully us so easily. Qin Feng patted Wen Yiming's shoulder, then looked around and said to the crowd, Alliance leader Qin is right. The inner hidden sects are indeed powerful, but as long as we work together, there is no need to be afraid of them. Wen Yiming was a disciple of the Snow Mountain sect, one of the 5 tyrants of the inner hidden sects, but he stood on the side of the outer hidden sections. We, the Shaolin Temple, are not afraid of the inner hidden sections. With Alliance leader Qin here, our alliance will definitely develop and grow. Martial Uncle Yuanzhen also stood up to encourage everyone. In the future, Hero City will be everyone's joint base. We will live and die with Hero City. The crowd was once again in an uproar. They all shouted slogans and cheered nonstop. The Starlight sect was occupied by Qin Feng, and it became a base for the Hero Alliance in the outer martial world. These days, Hero City was bustling with people and carriages. All the sects that allied with Qin Feng brought their elite disciples to guard the city. Everyone came from different sects, but after entering Hero City, they were as united and cordial as a family. These foreign sects could not only cultivate in Hero City, but they could also help with the construction and development of Hero City at the same time. Qin Feng stayed in Hero City for 3 days. When he saw that the construction of the city was basically stable, Qin Feng left the matters here to Shaoli, Hai Qing, and the others to manage. Then, he went to the Serenity sect alone. This time, Qin Feng came to the outer martial world, not only to ascend to the position of alliance leader of the martial world, but also to bring Su Ruoro back. Chapter 1132. The outer hidden sects were all located deep in the mountains and wild forests where there were few people. Moreover, they were all hidden by a formation. Ordinary people couldn't find the entrance to the sections. However, as the leader of the martial arts community, Qin Feng's network in the outer martial arts world was as wide as the sky. He asked around and found the location of Serenity. Serenity was located at the bottom of a cliff and was surrounded by steep cliffs that pierced through the clouds. The terrain here was dangerous, not to mention ordinary people. Even martial arts people didn't dare to rashly descend the mountain. If they were the slightest bit careless, they would fall to their deaths. Qin Feng rode on Flaming Dragon Horse and stopped at the edge of the cliff. After some observation, he saw through the hidden formation of Serenity. This was an illusion formation. Its effect was similar to the illusion ability of the rank 6 paranormal, William Hagen, that Qin Feng fought before. The illusion formation interfered with the martial artist's vision. The cliffs and valleys you saw didn't exist. It was just an illusion created by the formation. Master, this illusionary spell formation is very powerful. It's even more exquisite than the stellar gates concealing spell formation. I suggest you don't go in alone. Little Pig could feel the danger of the surrounding cliffs, so it used its mind to warn Qin Feng. Qin Feng had already seen through this formation and found the locations of a few formation cores. However, just as Little Pig had said, this formation was set up very intricately. The formation cores were all in the cliffs, so it was easier said than done for Qin Feng to break the formation. Even the most basic task of inserting the formation flags was very difficult, let alone attacking the formation cores later on. If I can't break the formation, then I can't find the true entrance to Serenity. What should I do? Qin Feng had just arrived at Serenity and was blocked by the illusion formation. He had a headache. Master, Golden Fur Lion King requests to fight and help Master find the entrance to Serenity. Golden Fur Lion King's voice suddenly rang in Qin Feng's mind. Qin Feng was shocked. Golden Fur Lion King, you know how to break formations? Master, Xie Sun is untalented and doesn't know the art of formations. However, Xie Sun has been blind for a long time, so my other senses are abnormally sensitive. Moreover, my will is firm and unaffected by external things. To put it bluntly, this illusion formation doesn't exist in front of me. Golden Fur Lion King's explanation enlightened Qin Feng. Golden Fur Lion King didn't need his eyes to see, he relied on his heart. This illusion formation could confuse a person's eyes and mind, but it couldn't confuse the blind Golden Fur Lion King. Alright, then bring me to the Serenity sect. Qin Feng's sullen mood instantly became incomparably carefree. With a slight thought, the tall and sturdy golden-haired Lion King suddenly descended from the void. That head of golden hair flickered with golden light, as if it was a magnificent battle god descending to the mortal world. Master, take out your flying sword and I'll show you the way, Golden Fur Lion King said. Whoosh! Pink light flashed. Qin Feng pulled the golden mane Lion King and leaped off the cliff. The surrounding wind howled wildly, and the cosmic flying sword carried the two of them through the cliffs. Their speed was as fast as lightning. Master, turn left quickly. The Golden Fur Lion King stood behind Qin Feng. Both of his eyes were blind. He closed his eyes and didn't look at the road. Instead, he pricked up his ears and listened to the sound of the wind around him to determine the situation in front of him. In front of Qin Feng, there were no obstructions. On the left, there was a majestic mountain. Although Qin Feng had some doubts in his heart, he did not hesitate. With a slight thought, the cosmic flying sword immediately made a sharp turn and headed towards the majestic mountain. Whoosh! As fast as lightning, he clearly saw the flying sword crash into the mountain. Qin Feng's heart was in his throat. Then, the sound of impact and the feeling of impact didn't appear at all. This was the power of the illusion formation. It had already confused Qin Feng's vision. Master, don't worry. Although my eyes are blind, my heart is incomparably clear. What Master sees is an illusion. Let me bring you to the right way out. The Golden Fur Lion King was full of confidence. This time, Qin Feng was completely at ease. Along the way, the flying sword rampaged. Qin Feng completely followed the Golden Fur Lion King's instructions and advanced. There were a few times when he was about to crash into a cliff. In the end, it was all caused by the illusion. Master, there's a chance of survival ahead. I reckon that's where Serenity is. Just as the Golden Fur Lion King's voice fell, Qin Feng really did see a huge and majestic sect base. There were a few women standing guard outside the city gate. Whoosh! The flying sword landed. The Golden Fur Lion King had already been recalled by Qin Feng. He leaped and landed in front of Serenity. Who is it? How dare you trespass into the sacred grounds of Serenity? Just as Qin Feng landed, the 8 female disciples in front of the gate unsheathed their flexible swords from their waists. All of them were outstanding beauties. Because of their cultivation, their bodies emitted a trace of spiritual energy. If they randomly threw a girl into the secular world, they would completely crush a group of popular actresses. Beauties, I am the alliance leader of martial arts Qin Feng. Today, I specially came here to see your sect leader Jingxin. Su Ruoro and Hua Xian, you were both disciples of Serenity. Qin Feng didn't want to have an unpleasant relationship with Serenity. Otherwise, he would definitely be in a difficult position in the future. The 8 female disciples didn't let down their guard. Instead, they stared at Qin Feng coldly. So you are the new alliance leader of martial arts. You are indeed young. Alliance leader Qin, I wonder why you are looking for our sect leader Jingxin? She is currently in closed-door cultivation and doesn't have time to see you." The 8 beauties all spoke at once. Their voices were all very pleasant to listen to. 3 days ago, Hua Xianyu of Serenity went to Starlight Gate to prepare to occupy territory. Now that Qin Fen suddenly arrived, the 8 female disciples mistakenly thought that Qin Fen was here to cause trouble. Naturally, Qin Fen could tell that the 8 of them were on guard against him. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, beauties. I am looking for sect leader Jingxin to discuss official business. I am not here to cause trouble." The 8 disciples looked at each other and finally shook their heads. One of the girls stared at Qin Fen and said, "I told you, sect leader Jingxin is cultivating and can't see you." "Oh, if that's the case, then I can only force my way in?" Qin Fen smiled from ear to ear. The 8 female disciples were instantly frightened. They immediately raised their flexible swords and got into an attacking stance. Recently, Qin Fen's name had spread like wildfire. These 8 female disciples knew how powerful Qin Fen was. They were very afraid of Qin Fen. "Do you guys want to fight me? Then let me make it clear first. I will not attack women. However, in order to subdue women, I will hug and kiss them. Last time, I hugged your senior sister Xianyu and she ran away in anger. Do you guys want to try it?" Qin Fen really couldn't fight with these female disciples. He put on a frivolous look and a wretched smile on his face. The 8 of them looked like they were about to vomit. Then they stared at Qin Fen coldly. "Shameless person. Letting someone like you become the leader of the martial arts circle is a disgrace to the martial arts circle. You pervert, I advise you to leave quickly. Otherwise, we sisters will not be polite." Qin Fen could see that the 8 beauties were very afraid of him. They kept saying harsh words, but didn't dare to make a move. Qin Fen also lost his patience. He was in a hurry to leave with Su Ruoro. His figure flashed and instantly disappeared. "Ah, where is he? Sisters, be careful. That pervert is gone. Ah, you stinking pervert, let go of me." As soon as Qin Fen disappeared, the 8 beauties lost their heads and were instantly thrown into chaos. However, one of the women screamed. Qin Fen had already run behind her and hugged her from behind, unwilling to let go. You bastard, let go of junior sister CC. CC, step on him. Quickly step on that pervert." The other 7 women looked at junior sister Hua CC and were all anxious to death. Just as they finished speaking, Qin Fen disappeared again. In the next moment, another beauty cried out in alarm. "Ah, pervert, I will kill you, pervert. You dared to touch my chest. You." Among the 8, the junior sister was attacked. She was so angry that she was about to go crazy. She waved her flexible sword around and almost hit her junior sisters. The scene immediately fell into chaos. How could the 8 female disciples still have the mood to guard the door? Each of them looked around nervously, on guard against Qin Fen's appearance. "Ah, junior sister, that pervert is gone? Sisters, be careful. He must be hiding in the dark and preparing to continue attacking us. This kind of bastard should be cut into 1,000 pieces. This is too infuriating. No, junior sister, I'm afraid that bastard has already snuck into our sect base." The women suddenly realized and instantly woke up. Looking at the empty surroundings, they unanimously confirmed that Qin Fen had snuck into the base. It's over. That pervert has snuck into the base. Quickly report to senior sister Xianyu and tell sect leader Jingxin." The women hurriedly ran into the sect. They felt as if they had let the devil into the village. Qin Fen had long entered Serenity. Only now did he realize that Serenity was a female sect. Inside there were all beauties. Qin Fen hid well, and no one discovered him along the way. This Serenity was quite big. After walking around for a long time, Qin Fen already lost his sense of direction. Not far away, there was a man-made pond. In the pond, there were many Serenity female disciples bathing. They were completely empty and frolicking in the water. Qin Fen also forgot how long he had been here. Suddenly, he couldn't remember why he came to Serenity. "Ah, man, there's a man snuck in." Suddenly, a female disciple in the pond screamed. More than 20 beauties were so scared that their faces turned ashen. They quickly covered their bodies and ran towards the shore. Bang bang bang. Several explosions came from the sky. Qin Fen looked at the sky filled with flower petals falling down. Among the flower petals, Hua Xianyu was like a goddess descending to earth. Her white dress fluttered in the wind. Qin Fen was a bit dazed. Junior sisters, what's going on here? Hua Xianyu was nearby. Hearing the commotion, she quickly rushed over. The junior sisters had already put on their clothes, but their bodies were wet. The chiffon dress stuck to their bodies, making them look even more alluring. Senior sister Xianyu, there's a man. What? A man came in? Where's that asshole? Serenity was a sect that only accepted female disciples. This sect's holy land was like a country of women. There wasn't a single man to be seen. Now that a man suddenly snuck in and saw the women bathing, everyone was about to die from anger. Lady Xianyu, I finally found you. Without needing anyone to point out, Qin Fen walked over with a smile. The women who were bathing were so scared that they immediately shrunk back. Their faces were incomparably cold. They looked like they wanted to cut Qin Fen into 1,000 pieces. Chapter 1133. Senior Sister Xianyu, bad news. A pervert sneaked into the sect. Another group of beautiful women ran over, all of them looking panic-stricken. These women were the female disciples who had been taken advantage of by Qin Feng. Ah, you. Before Hua Xianyu could speak, one of the female disciples suddenly saw Qin Feng. She was so shocked that she stuttered. You what? Don't you know how to speak? Qin Feng was amused by the female disciple. The female disciple's face darkened with anger. She ran to Hua Xianyu's side and stared at Qin Feng vigilantly. Senior Sister Xianyu, that man is the pervert who sneaked in. He violated me and the other junior sisters outside the sect. He is a beast. I hope Senior Sister Xianyu can help us. Senior Sister Xianyu, that stinky man peeped at us bathing. I hope Senior Sister Xianyu will cut out his eyes. This group of beautiful female disciples would be top-notch beauties in the secular world. However, their hearts were more ruthless than the women in the secular world. Qin Feng merely watched them bathe, and these women wanted to cut off his eyes. Hua Xianyu was depressed to death. She was speechless towards Qin Feng. The first time she saw Qin Feng at Devil Beast Mountain, Hua Xianyu felt that Qin Feng was different. She was unconscious, but Qin Feng did not take advantage of her body. He even cut his blood essence to save Hua Xianyu. How did he change so much in a year? Qin Feng, how dare you do such a shameless thing? I was blind. Today we are done. Leave now. Hua Xianyu was very disappointed with Qin Feng, but she still chose to help him one last time. According to the rules of Serenity, if a man dared to sneak in, he must be killed. Not only did Qin Feng sneak into Serenity, he hugged 2 female disciples and peeped at more than 20 female disciples bathing. Death 100 times was not enough for such a crime. Yet, Hua Xianyu was ready to let Qin Feng go. Ah, Senior Sister Xianyu, you want to let him go? Senior Sister Xianyu, you can't let this pervert go. He saw my body. I won't be able to face anyone in the future. The girls were immediately unhappy, and they even suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. Senior Sister Xian, you usually took care of everyone. So why was she speaking up for a stinky man today? Hua Xianyu was extremely conflicted, but she had no choice. After all, she had been through life and death with Qin Feng. Hua Xianyu didn't want to see Qin Feng die in Serenity. Lady Xianyu, I can't leave yet. Hurry and tell me which room Ruoro is in. I want to find her. Qin Feng said with a chuckle. Hua Xianyu rolled her eyes and almost fainted from anger. She had betrayed her junior sisters and made an exception to let Qin Feng go. But Qin Feng did not appreciate her kindness. Qin Feng, hurry up and leave. Junior sister Wu Xian is cultivating in seclusion. She won't see you. Hua Xianyu's voice suddenly turned cold. The surrounding female disciples finally understood that this perverted thief had come for their junior sister Wu Xian. Damn pervert. Do you still want to violate junior sister Wuxin? No way. Junior sister Wuxin is kind and pure. A scoundrel like you shouldn't tarnish her. Senior sister Immortal Moon. Why are you still talking nonsense with him? Everyone attacked together. The female disciples had long hated Qin Feng. They all drew their soft swords from their waists and instantly surrounded Qin Feng. The swords were like shadows. These female disciples would not be lenient. Once they attacked, they would kill. Qin Feng, don't hurt my junior sisters. Seeing more than 20 people surrounding Qin Feng, Hua Xianyu was not worried about Qin Feng's safety at all. She was still pleading for her junior sisters. The female disciples were confused. They felt that senior sister Xianyu was not in a good mood today. Why was she pleading for that perverted thief? Beauties, if you don't stop, I won't be polite. Qin Feng's body emitted golden light. He had already activated the invincible golden body. His figure was like lightning. He quickly shuttled through the group of beauties. The female disciples fought for a long time, but they could not even touch Qin Feng's shadow. Sisters, this perverted thief has some skills. Everyone be careful. Someone in the crowd reminded. The female disciples suddenly changed their formation. This was a stance that they were prepared to lose. Swish! A gust of wind blew. Suddenly a scream came from the crowd. Ah, who patted my butt? Ah, I was also patted. It must be that perverted thief. Sisters, quickly cover your butt. No, I was attacked on the chest. This perverted thief is all pervasive. The female disciples had not yet set up their formation. They were already in a complete mess. They had just covered their butts when their chests were grabbed. When they covered their chests, their slender waists were pinched. It was simply impossible to defend. Hua Xianyu stood at the side and watched the fight. She was so anxious that she almost jumped up. Qin Feng shuttled through the group of beauties. Everywhere he went there was a scream. It felt like a pervert had barged into a nest of beauties. Qin Feng, you are the leader of the martial arts circle. How can you do such a shameless thing? You quickly stop. Hua Xianyu was really angered to death by Qin Feng. She wanted to capture Qin Feng, but Qin Feng was too fast. Hua Xianyu could not determine his position at all. Leader of the martial arts circle? That perverted thief is the leader of the martial arts circle. Qin Feng? What? I originally yearned for and admired leader Qin. Today his image in my heart has been completely destroyed. What's so great about the leader of the martial arts circle? Can he casually take advantage of girls? This is too infuriating. After the female disciples found out Qin Feng's identity, they all complained incessantly. They also gave up on fighting Qin Feng. It was rumored that 3 days ago, Qin Feng single-handedly scared away all the elders of the inner hidden sections. He also killed a stage 9 inner disciple in front of everyone, and injured the unpopular sect leader Zhuahan, who was at stage 2 true qi. How could these female disciples of serenity deal with such strong skills? When the female disciples stopped, Qin Feng also stopped. He really didn't mean to take advantage of these women. If he didn't do this, would these girls stop? Qin Feng couldn't just stand there and let them hit him, right? Qin Feng, you hurry up and leave. I don't want to see you again. Seeing Qin Feng stop, Hua Xianyu's face turned ice cold. She stared at Qin Feng as if he was a stranger. Lady Xianyu, bring me to find Ruoro. After I see her, I'll leave immediately. Qin Feng insisted on his purpose of coming here. If he didn't take Ruoro away, he wouldn't leave. You're simply unreasonable. I already said that junior sister Wu Xian is in seclusion. Right now no one can disturb her. Hua Xianyu was so anxious that she didn't know what to do. A cold voice came from midair. Since leader Qin doesn't want to leave, then stay forever. The voice seemed to come from all directions. Even Qin Feng couldn't tell the specific direction. But in the blink of an eye, an older woman appeared in front of Hua Xianyu. The woman's long hair was coiled on top of her head. She wore a gray robe and held a horsetail whisk in her hand. She looked at Qin Feng indifferently. Sect leader Jingxin. Seeing the person who came, Hua Xianyu and the female disciples all had serious expressions and hurriedly greeted. Hua Xianyu even secretly glared at Qin Feng. Now it was too late for Qin Feng to leave even if he wanted to. Hehe. This is Serenity Sect's sect leader Jingxin. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Qin Feng smiled at Jingxin. Sect leader Jingxin's expression didn't change. Leader Qin, why did you come this time? Sect leader Jingxin, I came to find Ruoro. Qin Feng didn't waste words. Serenity sect doesn't have Ruoro. Alliance leader Qin came to the wrong place. No. Ruoro is Serenity's current genius female disciple, junior sister Wu Xian. Lady Xianyu just said that she was in seclusion. How could she not be here? Qin Feng said seriously. Sect leader Jingxin's expression was already cold. She suddenly slapped Qin Feng. Audacious madman. You dare to trespass Serenity sect and have bad intentions towards our female disciples. Scum like you living is a waste of air. Today I, Nun Jingxin, will rid the world of evil. Qin Feng was stunned. Why did this old nun suddenly attack while chatting? A gust of wind blew. Qin Feng's expression changed. He wanted to dodge, but his body was already sent flying. Rumble. When he landed, he smashed into a red-crowned crane statue. The statue instantly shattered into pieces, and Qin Feng smashed a deep hole in the ground. When the female disciples of Serenity saw this scene, they were delighted. Most of them had been taken advantage of by Qin Feng and were filled with anger. Just as sect leader Jingxin was about to continue attacking, Hua Xianyu suddenly stepped forward. Sect leader, you can't kill Alliance leader Qin. Jingxin stared coldly at Hua Xianyu. Why can't I kill him? He didn't really come to cause trouble. He and junior sister Wu Xian. Hua Xianyu was halfway through her sentence when sect leader Jingxin suddenly flew into a rage. She slapped Hua Xianyu's face. Shut up. Do I need you to tell me what to do? It's also because you followed me for so many years. If it was any other disciple who said this, I would definitely kick them out of the sect. Sect leader Jingxin's mood changed greatly. Hua Xianyu was stunned. Hua Xianyu had followed sect leader Jingxin since she was young. In her heart, sect leader Jingxin was kind and amiable. She had never hit her before. She didn't think that she would become a completely different person today. Hua Xianyu couldn't plead for leniency for Qin Feng. She silently retreated to the side. The other female disciples were so scared that they trembled. This was the first time they saw the sect leader get angry. Rumble. But at this moment, there was a loud sound, and a few cracks appeared on the ground. Qin Feng, who was wearing a purple thunder robe, jumped onto a roof. Old Taoist nun, I was discussing Ruoro's matter with you and you attacked me? You even dared to slap Lady Xianyu. Today I, Qin Feng, will make you regret it. Qin Feng was also furious. Su Ruoro was his girlfriend, and now he couldn't even see her? This sect leader Jingxin was too tyrannical. Qin Feng's words shocked the Serenity disciples. They didn't understand the relationship between Qin Feng, senior sister Xianyu, and junior sister Wu Xian. It seemed that Qin Feng was here to find junior sister Wu Xian. But he was also very concerned about senior sister Xianyu. Wasn't this a bit confusing? Sect leader Jingxin's eyes flashed with seriousness. She looked at Qin Feng, and then at Hua Xianyu, who was standing to the side. Chapter 1134. Sect leader Jingxin's mood was not normal today. The group of female disciples immediately dispersed and vacated the space in the middle. In the blink of an eye, sect leader Jingxin, who was standing on the ground, landed on the roof. With a casual palm strike, Qin Feng was once again sent flying. Master, this old nun is an expert of the fourth stage of true qi. Golden Fur Lion King requests to fight. Qin Feng defended with all his might, but he was not sect leader Jingxin's opponent. The difference in their realms was too great. Golden Fur Lion King stomped his feet anxiously in the system. Qin Feng stood up from the ruins and casually threw a few pills into his mouth. Lightning flowed through his purple thunder robe, and Qin Feng's body shone with golden light. Seeing sect leader Jingxin standing on the opposite roof, Qin Feng was shocked. The strength of the fourth stage of true qi was indeed incomparably strong. When Qin Feng fought Ling Chongkong, he used the character card to obtain Xiaofeng's peak strength. This time, when he fought sect leader Jingxin with his own realm, he discovered that he could not fight at all. Sect leader Jingxin, that perverted thief, peeked at everyone bathing and hugged a few disciples. I hope sect leader Jingxin can give everyone justice. After sect leader Jingxin appeared, the group of Serenity female disciples immediately gained confidence. A few female disciples who were touched by Qin Feng angrily complained to the sect leader. Hua Xianyu stood at the side with an anxious expression. She really wanted to go and plead for Qin Feng, but she didn't dare to open her mouth. Sect leader Jingxin didn't seem to hear the voices of everyone. She stood on the roof and looked coldly at Qin Feng. Without waiting for her to attack again, Qin Feng already yelled, "Sect leader Jingxin, I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to let me take Ruoro away or not?" Sect leader Jingxin's calm expression suddenly changed. She said with a cold face, "Alliance leader Qin, I'll say it one last time. The Ruoro you are looking for is not in Serenity. If you don't leave, I'll really kill you here." Qin Feng and sect leader Jingxin's body exploded with surging true qi. The two glared at each other with no intention of backing down. Whoosh! With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng suddenly disappeared. Cries of alarm rang out from all around. The female disciples of the Serenity sect were all frightened. They saw Qin Feng suddenly disappear right before their eyes. Even sect leader Jing Xian had a shocked expression on her face. With her eyesight at the fourth stage of true qi, how could she not clearly see how Qin Feng disappeared? Screech! A heavenly eagle's fury suddenly exploded in midair. Unbeknownst to him, Qin Feng's silhouette landed on a rooftop. He held the purple heavenly eagle bow in his hand and pulled an arrow towards sect leader Jingxin's position. All the girls exclaimed. In the air, a huge heavenly eagle condensed from true qi. The heavenly eagle swooped down with a surging and majestic aura, looking like it was going to blast the ground and the houses into ruins. Humph! Child's play. Leader Jingxin was startled in her heart, but on the surface, she pretended not to care. Seeing that the warhawk was about to devour her, Leader Jingxin suddenly raised the horsetail whisk in her hand, and a burst of zhenqi soared into the sky, instantly covering half of the sky. Rumble! A loud sound exploded in the air. With a wave of the horsetail whisk, the purple heavenly eagle disappeared as if it had never been there. Even Qin Feng was shocked. This sect leader Jingxin's strength was indeed formidable. When Yiming's warning a few days ago that sect leader Jingxin's strength was not below Ling Changkong's was not false at all. While Qin Feng was distracted, sect leader Jing Xian raised his horsetail whisk again. Several white lights flickered and transformed into sword qi that rushed toward Qin Feng. Swoosh! With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng disappeared again. Sect leader Jing Xian deliberately observed Qin Feng's escape method, but she only saw a flash of pink light. She did not see clearly what it was. The female disciples of Serenity were already dumbfounded. They knew how powerful sect leader Jing Xian was, but they did not expect Qin Feng to be able to last so long in the hands of the sect leader at such a young age. Rumble! When Qin Feng reappeared, he casually threw out more than 10 balls of destructive fire. The fireballs exploded in midair, as if they were going to burn a big hole in the sky. The surrounding temperature instantly rose. Looking at the sky full of fire raining down, many female disciples were so scared that they almost cried. It's this kind of trash move again. It looks good but is useless. Sect leader Jing Xian's eyes flashed with disdain. But when the destructive fire approached, her expression changed. She originally thought that this was true qi raging fire formed by Qin Feng's true qi. But the intensity of the fire and the hidden destructive power had long surpassed sect leader Jing Xian's imagination. Sect leader Jing Xian, who was about to catch the dozen or so balls of destructive fire with her bare hands, immediately raised her horsetail whisk. A wave of true qi shot out, and the horsetail whisk swept past. The destructive fire flew hundreds of meters to the bottom of the cliff, and everything returned to normal in an instant. After Qin Feng finished swatting the destructive fire, he stepped on the starry sky flying sword and disappeared. Facing sect leader Jing Xian, who was at the 4th level of true qi, Qin Feng could only use this kind of guerrilla warfare. Staring at the horsetail whisk in sect leader Jing Xian's hand, Qin Feng was shocked. This old woman was really powerful. With a horsetail whisk in her hand, it was as if she could sweep away everything under the heavens. Qin Feng continuously appeared and disappeared, attacking sect leader Jing Xian unceasingly. However, these attacks were all easily broken by sect leader Jing Xian. After fighting for a long time, no one was hurt. Rumble! A bolt of purple lightning struck down from the sky. The purple thunder wild robe on Qin Feng's body whistled, and the purple thunder function was activated. Thunder clouds rolled in the sky above Serenity, as if it was the end of the world. All the female disciples raised their heads to look at the sky. They were shocked by this sudden change in weather. This was the first time Hua Xian, you had seen Qin Feng's full power attack. She was shocked speechless by Qin Feng's speed of growth. Sect leader Jing Xian, who had always been contemptuous of Qin Feng, was speechless. Thunder roared in the sky, and a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm rushed towards her. This was the heavenly thunder summoning spell. Legend has it that only those who had stepped into the immortal Qi stage could use it. Qin Feng was only at the first stage of true Qi, and he could actually summon lightning to the heavens? Crackle! The purple lightning had already landed on sect leader Jing Xian's head. Sect leader Jing Xian didn't dare to be negligent. She quickly raised the horsetail whisk in her hand, and even spun it a few times above her head. A strange scene appeared in midair. On top of sect leader Jing Xian's head, there seemed to be an invisible true Qi barrier. The purple lightning was blocked outside the barrier, and kept flashing purple light in the air. However, it was still unable to land on sect leader Jing Xian's body. The disciples of Serenity were dumbstruck. Even Hua Xianyu's heart was surging. This was the first time everyone had seen this kind of battle between experts. The battle between Qin Feng and sect leader Jing Xian was too fierce and fierce. It made these hidden martial cultivators of China feel like they were filming a mythical TV series. Crackle, crackle, crackle. Thunder roared in all directions and lightning flashed. Qin Feng stood on the roof, and his purple thunder wild robe fluttered in the wind. He used his thoughts to incite the purple lightning to attack sect leader Jing Xian. However, the purple lightning all gathered on top of sect leader Jing Xian's head, and hovered there. It was unable to break through the layer of true Qi barrier. Sect leader Jing Xian's face was slightly pale. Under this overlaid purple lightning attack, she seemed to be struggling. She suddenly raised the horsetail whisk in her hand, and the purple lightning crisscrossed above her head. In an instant, she flew towards the cliff outside of Serenity. Rumble! Rumble! The lightning smashed into the precipitous cliff, causing the entire Serenity to shake violently. Serenity was built at the bottom of the cliff. After the cliff collapsed, flying rocks scattered everywhere, as if it was raining rocks from the sky. Qin Feng, you trespassed into my Serenity, and even attacked my sect. Today, I will not forgive you. Sect leader Jing Xian was infuriated when she saw many of the sect's buildings being destroyed by the falling rocks. Her figure flashed, and she suddenly disappeared. Whoosh! Qin Feng did not dare to stay any longer. He stepped on the cosmic flying sword and dodged quickly. However, behind Qin Feng, sect leader Jing Xian's beautiful figure suddenly appeared. Qin Feng quickly realized that something was wrong. This old woman actually used her true Qi. However, she only used a small amount of true Qi. He did not expect Ling Chongkong to completely explode his true Qi. Rumble! After using her true Qi, sect leader Jing Xian became even stronger. Her speed was almost on par with the cosmic flying sword. The horsetail whisk in her hand was constantly raised, and every time it caused a huge commotion. The cliffs and the ground that were hit instantly became huge holes. Master, let Golden Fur Lion King fight. Little Pig's voice sounded in Qin Feng's mind. At this moment, Qin Feng was in a trap, and Little Pig was very worried. Rumble! Another loud sound rang out. This time, it was Qin Feng's body that exploded. This time, Qin Feng did not dodge in time, and was sent flying by sect leader Jing Xian's horsetail whisk. His entire body landed on the ground, and created a huge hole. Bang! Sect leader Jing Xian landed on the ground. Her feet stepped on the ground, and the surrounding area cracked. Qin Feng lay in the deep hole. This time his injuries were not light. His body was covered in blood, and he also suffered some internal injuries. Qin Feng, instead of being the martial arts alliance leader, you came to my serenity to cause trouble. Since that's the case, don't blame me for killing you. Sect leader Jing Xian's killing intent rose. She raised the horsetail whisk above her head and was about to land a fatal blow. Just as Qin Feng was about to release the golden fur lion king, he heard a loud noise coming from afar. That sect leader Jing Xian was also attracted by the noise. He didn't have the time to deal with Qin Feng anymore. He leaped and rushed towards the source of the noise. What's going on in the seclusion pavilion? Sect leader Jing Xian instantly returned to the crowd and asked Hua Xianyu. Sect leader Jing Xian, I think junior sister Wu Xian has broken through. Hua Xianyu's expression was calm, but her heart was in turmoil. This was the first time junior sister Wu Xian attempted to break through to stage 9 inner qi. She did not expect that she would succeed. One should know that stage 9 inner qi was the most important and most difficult realm to break through in the inner qi realm. Many geniuses were stuck at this realm, and even after breaking through several times, they still did not succeed. A gratified smile flashed across sect leader Jing Xian's cold face. Her figure had already disappeared, but her voice reverberated in the same place. Guard this place well. Don't let Qin Feng come in. Sect leader Jing Xian had already rushed to the seclusion pavilion. Hua Xianyu and a group of female disciples were guarding the door. At this time, Qin Feng was still lying in the huge hole, nursing his body. His true qi was in a mess after being hit by sect leader Jing Xian's palm. He could not circulate his true qi for a while, or else he would easily die from qi deviation. Crack! Chapter 1135. Disciple Wu Xian greets Master. Su Ruoro sat cross-legged on a praying mat naked. Her long dress had been torn to shreds during the breakthrough. After breaking through to stage 9 inner qi, Su Ruoro's bones and meridians were reconstructed. Her skin became translucent, and her body exuded an aura of spirituality. She was as beautiful as a goddess who had descended to the mortal world. Wu Xian, you don't have to get up. You've just broken through, so you should take care of your body first. Sect leader Jingxin waved her hand. When Su Ruoro heard the name Wu Xian, it was as if a memory spring had been opened. Boundless, unforgettable memories flooded into Su Ruoro's mind like a tidal wave. Su Ruoro? My name is Su Ruoro. 10 months ago, I betrayed the man I loved the most in my life. I wanted to commit suicide by jumping off a cliff. Sect leader Jingxin saved my life, and I came to Serenity to cultivate. Qin Feng appeared. He appeared at the martial arts circle convention. He recognized me, but I lost my memory at that time. Su Ruoro betrayed Qin Feng and treated him coldly when she lost her memory. When these unforgettable memories came back, Su Ruoro's tears fell like rain. She felt as if her heart was being pierced by thousands of arrows. Although 10 months had passed since the battle at the Amethyst Dragon Palace, the heart-wrenching pain and heart-wrenching regret had not lessened in the slightest. Instead, it had accumulated more and more as time passed. It was so intense that Su Ruoro wanted to commit suicide again. Sect leader Jingxin stood quietly at the side, watching Su Ruoro cry in pain and despair. Sect leader Jingxin was the one who erased Su Ruoro's previous memories, so sect leader Jingxin knew that the memories were not really erased. They were just sealed in the depths of Su Ruoro's mind. When Su Ruoro broke through to stage 9 inner qi, her memories could no longer be sealed. They would appear on their own. Nothing could change that. Sect leader Jingxin, your disciple begs for death. Please grant my wish. Su Ruoro had lost 10 months of her memories. She had temporarily survived these 10 months, but the moment she regained her memories, she couldn't even live for a second longer. Every second was filled with endless pain and regret. This was truly a life worse than death. Sect leader Jingxin rushed over the moment Su Ruoro broke through, because she was afraid that Su Ruoro would commit suicide again. Sect leader Ruoro's heart wavered when she saw her beloved disciple in such pain. Since Qin Feng was outside, sect leader Jingxin could let Su Ruoro leave and stay with Qin Feng from then on. However, sect leader Jingxin had her own selfish motives. Su Ruoro had the Frostine body that only appeared once in 100 years. She was the genius disciple who cultivated the fastest in serenity. In just 10 short months, Su Ruoro went from an ordinary person to the early stage of Stage 9 inner Qi. Sect leader Jingxin believed that with continued training, Su Ruoro would stand at the peak of the outer martial arts world in 8 to 10 years. She would lead Serenity to become the #1 sect in the martial arts world. Two kinds of thoughts were entangled in leader Jingxin's mind, and she finally made a decision. Wuxian, the man you miss is outside. Today he broke into Serenity alone and wants to take you away. Just as sect leader Jingxin finished speaking, Su Ruoro, who was sobbing, suddenly raised her head. Her exquisite and peerlessly beautiful face was filled with shock, and she said in a trembling voice, "Sect leader Jingxin, really? Qin Feng is outside? Did he come here to find me? I want to see him. I can't be without Qin Feng." Su Ruoro didn't care that she was naked. She ran out emotionally. Just as he reached sect leader Jingxin's side, sect leader Jingxin's cold voice sounded. "You can look for him, or tell him that you have regained your memory. But doing so will only harm him because you are the genius disciple of Serenity, and the personal disciple of sect leader Jingxin. I won't allow anyone to take you away from here." Su Ruoro, who had just run to the door, suddenly froze. Her body trembled uncontrollably, and she mechanically turned around to look at sect leader Jingxin in a daze. "Sect leader, I don't like cultivating or fighting. I also don't like power or fame. I just want to follow Qin Feng and live a peaceful life. I beg sect leader Jingxin to fulfill this wish of mine." Su Ruoro knelt on the ground and kowtowed to sect leader Jingxin. Sect leader Jingxin's heart was pounding, but she didn't seem to see Su Ruoro. "You can't do what you want in Jianghu. Fate is like this. It's not something you and I can choose. You don't have to beg me anymore. Serenity's rules have existed for hundreds of years. I won't change them just because of you. Come with me later, and tell Qin Feng to leave. If you want to leave with Qin Feng, I'll kill him." Sect leader Jingxin was cold and ruthless. When she finished speaking, she disappeared from the room. Su Ruoro looked at the empty room. She cried and kowtowed crazily. Even when her forehead was broken and blood flowed freely, she didn't want to stop. Su Ruoro went from hope to despair. She felt that her relationship with Qin Feng was too rough. But Su Ruoro didn't regret it. If she could relive her life, Su Ruoro would still want to know Qin Feng. She vaguely remembered the first time she met Qin Feng. Qin Feng was riding a 28 bicycle while she was chasing after a bus. Then, she was muddle-headed and was taken to royal group by Qin Feng. Outside the seclusion pavilion, Hua Xianyu and a group of female disciples stood with swords in their hands. They were ready to attack at any time. Qin Feng jumped out of the deep pit and stood face to face with the female disciples. "Miss Xianyu, please step aside. I must take Su Ruoro away today. If you dare to stop me, I won't be polite." Qin Feng was enraged by sect leader Jingxin. He didn't have the patience to play with Serenity anymore. Hua Xianyu looked at Qin Feng, who was covered in blood and wounds, but still insisted on seeing junior sister Wuxin. She couldn't help but feel her heart palpitate. She could see that Qin Feng really cared about junior sister Wuxin. But Hua Xianyu couldn't step aside. "Qin Feng, hurry up and leave. When sect leader Jingxin comes out, you'll really die here." Hua Xianyu started to persuade Qin Feng again. In her opinion, although Qin Feng was powerful, he was still no match for sect leader Jingxin. The other female disciples' emotions also changed. Before, everyone thought Qin Feng was a pervert. But after seeing this scene, they felt that Qin Feng was really loyal and persistent. Both of them had their own insistence. Neither was willing to give in. Since things had come to this, Qin Feng didn't waste any more words. He leaped into the seclusion pavilion. Rumble! A loud explosion resounded in the seclusion pavilion. Sect leader Jingxin stood at the door. Her palm collided with Qin Feng. Qin Feng was sent flying like a kite with a broken string. Sect leader Jingxin stood still at the door. "Sect leader Jingxin, Junior sister Wuxin. Hua Xianyu hurriedly walked up to Su Ruoro. She could feel the change in Su Ruoro's aura. Hua Xianyu was sure that junior sister Wuxin had successfully broken through to the early stage of Stage 9 inner qi. Qin Feng landed on the ground dozens of meters away, knocking down a building. Sect leader Jingxin coldly looked into the distance. Her expression didn't change at all. Su Ruoro saw Qin Feng. Qin Feng was buried in the ground. His body was covered in blood, and his long hair was stained with dirt. He was in a sorry state, but in Su Ruoro's eyes he was still handsome and tall. Su Ruoro felt like her heart was pierced by thousands of swords. Her body trembled. She wanted to rush up to Qin Feng and hug him. She wanted to melt into his embrace. However, Su Ruoro stood motionlessly at the door. She raised her head slightly and didn't let her tears fall. Ruoro, have you broken through to Stage 9 inner qi? I'm here to pick you up. Hurry up and come back with me. Qin Feng forced himself to stand up. When he saw Su Ruoro at the door of the seclusion pavilion, he quickly ran up to her. She raised her horsetail whisk, and a true qi barrier appeared in front of sect leader Jingxin. She drew an impassable boundary between her and Su Ruoro and Qin Feng. Bang! When Qin Feng reached the door, he was bounced back by the true qi barrier. Qin Feng, I'll give you one last chance. If you leave now, I'll pretend nothing happened. Sect leader Jingxin's voice was ice cold. Su Ruoro, who stood behind her, was sweating for Qin Feng. After Qin Feng fell to the ground, he immediately got up and struck the true qi barrier with his palm. Rumble! The true qi barrier turned out to be a miniature rebound formation. Qin Feng attacked with all his strength, but the true qi barrier bounced back and sent Qin Feng flying. Qin Feng was already injured. Now that the true qi in his body was in chaos, he couldn't help but spit out a few mouthfuls of blood. Su Ruoro's body trembled more and more violently, and the tears in her eyes flowed uncontrollably. She instinctively took a step forward, wanting to rush over and hug Qin Feng. However, at this moment, she heard sect leader Jingxin's voice by her ear. Don't move if you don't want him to die. If you don't want him to suffer, then be ruthless and chase him away. Su Ruoro was faced with the most difficult choice in her life. She had regained her memory. She wanted to hug Qin Feng and stay by his side for the rest of her life. However, sect leader Jingxin prevented her from doing so. She could tell that Qin Feng was no match for sect leader Jingxin. Alliance leader Qin, please don't look for me anymore. I don't have a good impression of you, let alone romantic feelings. Su Ruoro couldn't bear to watch any longer when she saw Qin Feng forcing himself to charge at her again. Qin Feng stopped abruptly in front of the seclusion pavilion. He looked at Su Ruoro and said, Ruoro, you lost your memory. We used to be lovers. Come back with me first. I promise I'll help you recover your memory. Su Ruoro held back her tears when she heard Qin Feng's gentle voice. She said coldly, I know I lost my memory. That's why I told you to leave and never look for me again. Since I chose to lose my memory, it means that I'm desperate for my past memories and feelings. I don't want to recover my memory. I don't want to know you anymore. Su Ruoro swore that this was the most dishonest thing she'd ever said in her life. However, she had to do it to save Qin Feng's life. Qin Feng was stunned. He was awakened by Su Ruoro's words. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.